easily between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, you're invited to join us on the radio waves here. You can take control of these airwaves, and our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. We also invite you to our website, freetalklive.com. Get interactive there in a variety of different ways, all totally free, including the front page of the site, where you can actually kind of create the content there on the front page. You can submit it via a Reddit-based site. It's free to use. Other listeners can then vote whether they like or dislike your suggestions, and we might just talk about them on the radio. So go to freetalklive.com, get interactive there. It's totally free. Of course, the best way to get your ideas and thoughts on the radio is to actually call the show, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Also, coming up soon, like 10 or 11 days from now, basically, it's going to be less than 2 weeks. We're coming up on Father's Day. And if you're thinking about what to get Dad, it's not too late to jump on the special offer from Omaha Steaks. If your dad loves to grill but hates the hassle of having to go and deal with the grocery store and the poor quality available at a lot of grocery stores, compared to Omaha Steaks, where they have everything he could possibly want for his grilling needs, including all the best cuts of beef, bison from the Golden Plains, seafood, poultry, pork, veal, lamb, vegetables, and more. You can even customize cuts for your dad if you really want to go crazy over at omahasteaks.com. What you want to do is type in FTL, like Free Talk Live, in the search bar, and that's going to get you access to a very special package that, Mark, you have received, I've received, and Daryl has received.
Yep.
Even though I'm not actually a father. But
no, we have to try the package in order to be recommended for your father. Daryl got a contact from a listener just like yesterday or the day before asking about the idea of sending meat through the mail. And I hadn't really considered this because I've heard of Omaha Steaks for a long time. And
we tried them last year, too, and they were awesome.
I presumed everything was fine as far as shipping stuff through the mail, but it comes, and it is. It comes on dry ice, and
that's cold.
In basically its own little cooler thing, and it's great. I have no complaints about the meats that I get from Omaha Steaks.
Yeah, that dry ice is going to keep it cold for quite a while. Even if you leave it sitting out on your porch in a hot sunlight, I suspect it would last
They
for
are
a while.
well cut, lean, tasty. They don't have a whole bunch of fat on them, so you don't feel like you got just a bunch of fat sent to you through the mail or anything like that. It's good.
Here's what you get for $49.99 is this limited-time Father's Day package. When you go to omahasteaks.com and enter FTL in the search bar, that will bring up this special offer where you get 2 tender, mild filet mignons, 2 bold, beefy top sirloins, 4 crispy chicken fried steaks, 4 juicy boneless pork chops, 4 all-beef Omaha steak burgers, 4 award-winning gourmet jumbo franks, 12 ounces of all-beef meatballs, 1 pound of steakhouse fries, 4 made-from-scratch caramel apple tartlets, and their Omaha Steaks seasoning packet. Plus, they'll throw in an additional 4 burgers for free. Now, a lot of that stuff we got last year when Omaha Steaks came on board, but some of it is new to me. So, like, we didn't get the Franks last year, so I'm looking forward to trying their award-winning jumbo Franks. And then I already had some of the chicken fried steaks, which I didn't get last year, and they're awesome. So, really, I've enjoyed everything that I've tried from Omaha Steaks. I'm looking forward to digging even further into this special offer that we've received. And you can get, too, for your dad by going to omahasteaks.com and type in code FTL in the search bar. That pulls up the special deal. So, toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. We're talking about Theresa May, again, this time more specifically, according to Cory Doctorow at boingboing.net, she has said not just that she wants to restrict freedom on the Internet and that she wants a multiple country cabal to come together and create internet restrictions, but she even has said specifically that there should be no means of communication that they cannot read. And so Cory Doctorow, says that means she wants to break encryption. And he's saying that basically that's an impossibility and that she probably doesn't know this, and so therefore she's just, pandering. She's, as he says, grandstanding politically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be an election here, and
that's right, just a few days, right?
Quite close, so you can't really trust politicians when it gets really close to the election as to what they mean and what they don't.
So going on here from his story at boingboing.net, he says that if you were to add a master key, a backdoor key that governments were able to have, which of course, as we've already pointed out, they're going to lose track of, it's going to get out into the wild, and then you have no security. But he points out that it basically is impossible to do this. What Theresa May thinks she's saying is, quote, "We'll command all the software creators we can reach to introduce backdoors into their tools for us," unquote. There are enormous problems with this. There's no backdoor that only lets good guys go through it. If your WhatsApp or Google Hangouts has a deliberately introduced flaw in it, then foreign spies, criminals, crooked police, like those who fed sensitive information to the tabloids who were implicated in the hacking scandal and the like, high-level police who secretly worked for organized crime for years, for instance, and criminals will eventually discover this vulnerability. They, and not just the security services, will be able to use it to intercept all of our communications. That includes things like the pictures of your kids in your bath that you send to your parents, to the trade secrets that you send to your coworkers. But that's just for starters. Theresa May doesn't understand technology very well, so she doesn't actually know what she's asking for. For Theresa May's proposal to work, she'll need to stop Britons from installing software that comes from software creators who are out of her jurisdiction.
Right. So I can say that many VPN providers, that's virtual private network providers, they choose not to do business from, say, the United States or Western countries.
Right.
And the reason they choose not to do that is because they can't make promises to their subscribers that their information will be safe if they're not in certain jurisdictions. So they do business in those jurisdictions, but they make their product available across
worldwide.
The web.
Yeah. As long as the governments don't shut down your access, like China tries to block VPN connections.
Well, right.
Yeah.
So they do their very best, nonetheless. But these VPN providers do this, and that's what you'll see in these circumstances. Is that the security companies will then begin to migrate to countries that are not the United States or Great Britain, that sort of thing.
So going on here, the very best in secure communications are already free open source projects maintained by thousands of independent programmers around the world. They're widely available, and thanks to things like cryptographic signing, it is possible to download these packages from any server in the world and verify with a very high degree of confidence that the software you have downloaded has not been tampered with. May is not alone here. The regime she proposes is already in place in countries like Syria, Russia, and Iran. And for the record, none of those countries have had much luck with this plan. There are two means by which authoritarian governments have attempted to restrict the use of secure technology. One, network filtering, and two, technology mandates. Theresa May has already shown that she believes she can order the nation's ISPs to block certain websites. And again, for the record, this hasn't worked very well, but the next step is to order Chinese-style filtering using deep packet inspection to try and distinguish traffic and block forbidden programs. This is a formidable technical challenge. Intrinsic to core Internet protocols like IP version 4 and 6, TCP and UDP is the potential to tunnel one protocol inside the other. This makes the project of figuring out whether a given packet is on the whitelist or the blacklist transcendentally hard. More coming up here in moments. 8:55, 450, free like freedom. Like I say, trust in geeks, but the government is going to make it difficult. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
In these uncertain times, it makes sense to have a sustainable backup method to cook food and boil water. If your current plan includes using a fuel-burning stove or cooking over an open fire, then there's a much better way. The Minuteman Rocket Stove is a biomass-burning cooking stove that only requires small quantities of sticks and twigs for fuel. The Minuteman stove is easy to use, smokeless, portable, powerful, and sustainable. For the finest in survival cooking stoves and fire starters made right here in the USA, go to MinutemanStove.com. That's MinutemanStove.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
Are you making sense to the boomer mindset? I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. 80 million baby boomers comprise 25% of the population and control most of the USA's wealth. As aging parents pass on, they'll control more. Boomers are 46 to 65 years old and regard themselves as midlife. They identify as neither young nor old. They're post-minivan and pre-retirement, and they don't like being called boomers. They think me. Many of the purchases boomer couples make are individual purposes. They've been experimenters all their lives. If you want their attention, tell stories and keep it simple. If something seems complicated, boomers can dismiss it as, I don't need this. And if you're looking for work, you may be applying to a boomer, so relate accordingly. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in, toll free, and join us right here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. Great day for Bitcoin with the price going up, shooting up throughout the day, up at least $150 over the last 24 hours. So it's been good, and Bitcoin not quite at a new record high, but it's going to be flirting with it again soon. It's been setting new record highs over the last few months, multiple times. I think it's peaked out at around 2750. I think that's been it's close to its maximum. Anyway, it's fun to watch what's happening with Bitcoin. Unfortunately, behind the scenes, it's still kind of messed up. There is this problem with the fees, and the fees are super high right now, and they have been for the last several months.
And a lot of the core developers seem to like that.
Yeah, the core is the group of people that are developing the main Bitcoin software.
Right, and there are people out there that are trying to move forward. There was an accord signed by about 85% of the mining power in the world.
Yeah, I think it was like 83, 82%.
And Roger Ver from Bitcoin.com and a variety of other people, Gavin Andreessen.
Big companies like Coinbase and BitPay. Yeah,
all those people signed an accord to basically solve the problem. However, the core developers and Blockstream, the ones that seem to have some level of power, didn't sign it, and we haven't seen any forward motion on the accord yet.
Nope.
So I'm curious as to what's going to happen. But for those out there that don't support that are upset with Roger Ver or whatever, I'd point out who signed the accord, who tried to come to the table and negotiate.
Yeah.
Is there truly only one position? Is that one position your position? Because if you can't negotiate, like, you don't live here on planet Earth, I guess.
Roger had his position, and he compromised his position in order to sign this accord. The others, as you said, didn't even come to the table. So if you want to get the latest on what's going on with these fees, because just today, Mark, I saw a new record high for the median fee. It went over 500 Satoshis per byte. So the median fee is right now, it's below that. It's about 450, and that translates to about a $2.50 median fee for the median transaction on the Bitcoin network, and that's a lot of money. Compared to what it used to be, which used to be free to a couple cents for a transaction. It was just that way a couple years ago. So if you want to get the latest, go to news.bitcoin.com, and you can follow along with what's happening with Bitcoin there. All the while, Bitcoin's price is doing very well. The amount of people using it is doing very well. So it's kind of got this dichotomous situation going on where it's very successful, but also kind of having growing pains.
I think people are confident that it's going to be solved because so many people who have enough power to do something about it intend to solve the problem.
Yep. Well,
and they've shown their intent.
It's been 2 weeks since that accord was signed, and they said it was going to be done in 6 months. So they're now down to 24 weeks to get this thing done. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And by the way, if you're brand new to Bitcoin, Bitcoin.com is also a great site for people that just want to learn about it, learn about what is Bitcoin, because it's never too late to get started into that world. All right, so we're sharing with you more kind of on the technological side of things. Technology combined with politics. You're combining the most brilliant people in the world with some of the dumbest people in the world, and that is politicians. These are people who have no real skills beyond taking advantage of people and, being charismatic. They don't have any real-life skills because if they did, they'd go do something productive with their lives rather than be politicians. But unfortunately, we are saddled with them for the time being until, someday we can have some sort of information revolution.
Great computer overlord.
Or information evolution where people can reject the idea of the state. We're going to be saddled with these fools who are trying to, in this case, Theresa May over in Great Britain, proposing the end of cryptography. Proposing that there basically be a backdoor built into every piece of cryptographic software out there.
Yeah, good luck.
Which, as Cory Doctorow points out, is not only, pretty much impossible to accomplish, but even if they did target down and try to, do a Chinese-style internet filtering, he says that can be very difficult to accomplish because the technologies that run the internet have the ability to tunnel one protocol inside another. So if you're looking for, let's say, VPN or whatever, you might be able to hide the VPN packets in another type of protocol, in another communications type that's going on over your internet connection, and it gets very, very difficult to figure out what's what, he says. He says that gets transcendentally hard, in fact, is the term he uses, especially if you want to minimize the number of good sessions that you accidentally black hole. More ambitious is a mandate over which code operating systems in the UK are allowed to execute. Now, this is very hard. We do have, in Apple's iOS platform and various games consoles, a regime where a single company uses countermeasures to ensure that only software that it has blessed can run on the devices that it sells to us. These companies could indeed be compelled by an act of parliament to block secure software. Even there, you'd have to contend with the fact that other EU states and countries like the USA are unlikely to follow suit, and that means that anyone who bought her iPhone in Paris or New York could come to the UK with all their secure software intact and send messages that the government cannot read.
Yeah, I would think that I can hardly imagine this just working in one country like Great Britain. I mean, Great Britain isn't quite as great as it was quite a few decades ago.
Which is why she wants to team up with other governments
Right.
to implement the same restrictions.
Right. So, I mean, it's like if Vermont decides it's going to, disallow encryption or whatever, it's not going to go very far.
But there's the problem of more open platforms like Linux and other Unixes, Mac OS X, and all the non-mobile versions of Windows. All of these operating systems are already designed to allow users to execute any code they want to run. The commercial operators, Apple and Microsoft, might conceivably be compelled by Parliament to change their operating systems to block secure software in the future, but that doesn't do anything to stop people from using all the PCs now in existence to run code that the Prime Minister wants to ban. More difficult is the world of free and open operating systems like Linux and BSD. The operating systems in this case are the gold standard for servers and widely used on desktop computers. There is no legal or technical mechanism by which code that is designed to be modified by its users, hence open source,
right,
can coexist with a rule that says code must treat its users as adversaries and seek to prevent them from running the prohibited code. This, then, is what Theresa May is proposing. All Britain's communications must be easy for criminals, voyeurs, and foreign spies to intercept. Any firms within reach of the UK government must be banned from producing secure software. All major code repositories such as GitHub and SourceForge must be blocked. Search engines must not answer queries about web pages that carry secure software. Virtually all academic security work in the UK must cease. Security research must only take place in proprietary research environments where there is no onus to publish one's findings, such as industry, R&D, and security services.
So, I mean, this is a politician who's just talking, right? This Theresa May. She was just like, we need to have a back door to all the secure stuff so that way we can take a look. And that's kind of like, when somebody goes to a programmer and says, hey, can I get, a bunch of things that are completely impossible in my next program? And the programmer says, no, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's what happened here. It's not terribly unusual. I mean, this isn't a mistake of Trumpian size or anything. I mean, this is just somebody talking about, hey, it would be really, really cool if we could have the good guys look at all what the bad guys are doing and stuff. And then, do you think Dr. O here, Cory Doctorow, who wrote this article, might have just taken it too far with the hope of getting his more liberal candidate in? I mean, Corbyn, mind you, if I had to take my choices, I'd go with Corbyn too, because he's anti-war. But do you think he's just gone a little off the deep end pushing this issue?
Cory Doctorow? No, as he pointed out, he wrote similar articles when the last prime minister was talking about this kind of stuff.
Okay, I just, I mean, it can't be done. Okay.
The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. You can take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Get started at Dash.org. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. Join Dash and help us create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org and get your own Dash wallet today. That's Dash.org.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by, making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out.
Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people they're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a large portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-314-7417. 800-314-7417. That's 800-314-7417.
Free Talk Live.
Ms. Maxwell's local council has decided that the pool, which is only 2 feet deep, needs a lifeguard. It's a kiddie pool. As if the lifeguard wasn't enough, she's also been told she must have insurance. The health and safety edict came after she wrote to the city council asking for permission to put a bigger pool in the communal garden outside her home. That was her mistake, asking for permission rather than forgiveness. But nonetheless, not only was she told it was too dangerous, but the council told her to empty the existing pool. The Portsmouth manager defended the ruling yesterday. Nigel Selly said, "We didn't have sufficient assurances that the risks associated with providing such a facility would be well managed. It's a facility. How dare you? How dare you erect this structure on your property?
It's an inflatable pool.
Without our permission."
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial on in toll-free here at 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype. Skype username here is lrn.fm. Maybe you want to comment on the proposal to seriously restrict Internet freedom. We just kind of heard the generic statement from Prime Minister Theresa May over in the UK last night, calling for a group of the world's, powers, if you will, the UK, the US, and whoever else she can talk into it, to approve of some very restrictive Internet policies. Now, she didn't get specific about what she wants to do.
Because she has no idea what she's talking about.
That's right. She's just a dumb politician. But she does know that she can, wield her pen, and, men with guns will follow her orders. And so eventually they're going to figure out some of these ideas. They're going to look to other regimes like Iran and China and see what kind of restrictions they've put in place. And don't forget Australia, which also has a sort of a firewall up for the whole nation. And they're going to look at those ideas, and they're going to try to take them to another level. And Cory Doctorow over at boingboing.net is kind of running down the list of things that they are probably going to, what they would like to demand. They have not actually made these demands specifically. He's just predicting what they would need to do to have some semblance of control over the Internet. But as he's pointed out, anybody who has the determination is going to be able to get around this stuff. So he talks about how the UK government would have to ban companies like Microsoft or Apple from producing secure software, from allowing people to even run whatever software they want to on their computer. What you would be allowed to run on your computer in the UK would be only the stuff the UK government says you can. So downloading software from who knows where in the world, whatever repositories out there, you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd only be able to use what you could get through like the UK's secure store, right? They would tell you what options you have, and it would very severely limit your choices. They'd also have to do what's called deep packet inspection, Chinese style, of all packets in and out of the country and within the country, and any packets that appear to originate from secure software must be dropped. Existing walled gardens, like iOS or the video game consoles, must be ordered to ban their users from installing secure software. Anyone visiting the country from abroad must have their smartphones held at the border until they leave. Proprietary operating system vendors must be ordered to redesign their operating systems as walled gardens that only allow users to run software from an app store, which will not sell or give secure software to Britons. And free and open source operating systems that power the energy, banking, e-commerce, and infrastructure sectors must be banned outright, because they can't control that stuff. They might be able to put pressure on Apple and Microsoft and Google, but they're not going to be able to put pressure on Linux.
Right, you can't.
Linux is just free software, of which there are copies that are, in existence out there and editable by anyone who wants to edit it. So even if they could somehow put down some sort of restriction, even if all of the team that programs Ubuntu happens to live in London, and they can somehow restrict those people, that is meaningless to the rest of the Linux software, the open software movement.
Yeah.
It will have no effect.
And I would suspect a big company like Google, Facebook, or Microsoft would likely simply stop doing business in Great Britain rather than
they've
comply.
Complied with everything else.
Because, well, for one, what they're asking is incredibly difficult. Right?
Well, I mean, Google's restricted Chinese web results, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're willing. I think Melanie's right. They're willing to jump through a lot of hoops. I mean, didn't Google also accept the French International Court's decision to allow people to retroactively remove links from their search results?
Well, good. Then I guess this ruling, this arbitrary thing this lady says on the campaign trail that will never occur,
don't say never,
is a good thing, because that will drive people to more secure things like Ubuntu.
All they have to do is trot out this terror thing. That's why she's doing this right now. She's using the terror strike over the weekend,
which had nothing to do with this stuff.
Has absolutely nothing to do with this. She's just claiming that the software out there gives terrorists what she calls safe spaces to plot their murder, and she wants to somehow put a stop to that by restricting your internet.
People who do things like just drive into crowds, I'm not sure how much planning and collaboration that really takes. It doesn't seem like you need a group chat for that.
Well, many British would claim that she made a safe space in Great Britain by cutting police force funding. So, I don't know.
The cops were able to respond within 8 minutes and shoot all 3 of those men to death. Of course, in that 8 minutes, they managed to stab dozens of people.
People imagine that police
throats.
are always going to be right where they want them to be, and that's obviously patently ridiculous. You need to be able to protect yourself, and that's why the confiscation of guns in Great Britain some time ago made all this possible.
If somebody had a gun in that situation who was an innocent person, if a couple people had a gun, that would have probably ended that a whole lot faster, and fewer people would be dead right now. Let's go to Brad in California. You're on Free Talk Live, listening online. Go ahead, Brad.
Hey, Brent.
Brent, go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, do you remember me?
No, I'm sorry.
We take a lot of calls, Brent. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I know. I talked to you last week.
Okay. What were you calling about tonight?
Oh, I was talking to your screener, and I said you want to hear more stories about what I did for a living, being a mortician and everything.
Oh, right. You're the mortician. Okay. Now I recognize
it's all
people's
coming clear to me, Brent.
voices. Yeah, you're
Go
telling
ahead.
us.
Lay the mortician story on me.
Yeah, well, it's really not good for your soul to not talk bad about the dead.
I should quit saying negative things about Adolf Hitler because he's dead.
Yeah, no, I know. But what I'm getting at is I have to be very careful about what I say because my experience talking bad about the dead is kind of a curse. Okay, so.
Okay, so this is a rule you have for yourself, not a rule you're trying to lay down for everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I was up in Hollywood area, toward Beverly Hills, and they had some luxury condos, and a bunch of Jewish people lived there, and I went in there went on a call one time, and there was nobody around, and I went to the door and knocked on the door, and nobody answered the door, and I checked the address, and I'm going, well, this is the right address.
Mm-hmm.
So I went around and found the manager of the condo complex, and he gave me the key, and I told him, what I was here for, and showed him my credentials, and he opened the door and let me in, and he didn't go in with me and didn't say anything to me, and my employer just said, here's a call, go on the call. There was no cop car, there's nothing.
Just to be clear, you were going to clean up a body. That was the point of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick up a body. I didn't have any instructions on bringing any hazmat suits or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just one of my usual calls. You go out, somebody died at home, and usually there would be somebody there to escort me in.
Sure.
Somebody from the
show you where the body is. Come right this way.
Yeah.
It's Mildred's in her chair.
Yeah, and this is the most unusual call because they're all by myself, and the manager didn't even go in the apartment with me. Didn't say anything to me about the person's how they got deceased or anything else. And so I just went in the apartment, and he stayed outside, and I went in, and I looking around the apartment for the body, and I went into the dining room.
Wait a second. I gotta looking for the body.
The suspense.
Go into the dining room.
All right, hang on, Brad. We're gonna bring you back if you can stick with us. Finish your story here in a moment. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Mortician Story Night here on Free Talk Live. You can join us on Free Talk Live. More coming up here. Hour number 2 is on the way. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com. DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phone, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Canaanshire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, June 5th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.40 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,281 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,590. Antiwar.com reports a Reuters TV crew in western Mosul's Zanjili district photographed the bodies of dozens of dead civilians left in the streets who were identified as people who have tried to flee the district, which has been the site of heavy fighting over the past 2 days. The reporters obviously arrived on the scene after the fact and conceded that they weren't able to conclusively say how everyone was killed. Many are believed to have been shot by the Islamic State forces, who have been firing on them trying to leave, while other reports suggest that some of the casualties were results of U.S. airstrikes. Large numbers of civilians remain trapped in western Mosul, reflective both of the Islamic State attempts to prevent them from leaving and warnings by both U.S. and Iraqi officials at the start of the city's invasion, way back in October, that they should not attempt to flee and might find themselves targeted as suspected the Islamic State if they did. Early warnings not to flee have proven disastrous for the invading forces, who have struggled with an offensive regularly stalled by incidents of huge civilian casualties, and where Iraqi forces have several times taken time out to try to evacuate civilians who, but for the warnings, would have been able to leave the city long ago. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports riot police turned out in force in downtown Portland, Oregon on Sunday to maintain order as supporters and opponents of President Donald Trump faced off in dueling political rallies a week after racially charged killings shook Oregon's largest city. The Trump free speech rally drew hundreds of demonstrators to a public square near City Hall, where a far larger throng of counter-protesters and onlookers massed on 3 sides of the park in a heated encounter that grew tense at times but remained mostly peaceful. Dozens of black-clad, masked anti-Trump protesters waved an Antifa action flag at pro-Trump activists across the street, at one point yelling "Nazis go home," while members of the opposing rally, some carrying American flags, chanted "USA, USA." A phalanx of helmeted police officers took up positions to keep the 2 sides apart, breaking up scuffles and detained protesters seen crossing police lines to agitate the other side. Police reported at least 4 arrests and displayed photos on Twitter of weapons seized from demonstrators, including a hunting knife, brass knuckles, clubs, roadside flares, a slingshot, and several homemade shields. Tempers and shoving matches flared periodically, but law enforcement kept violence mostly in check. Late in the day, as the pro-Trump rally was coming to an end, police ordered counter-demonstrators to disperse from 2 adjacent parks, prompting some in the crowd to hurl rocks and other projectiles at police. Officers responded by firing volleys of pepper ball rounds. The confrontation appeared to be winding down after police corralled a group of about 200 stragglers on a nearby nearby street, then herded them single file through a checkpoint where each was photographed in order to show identification before being released. Several more arrests were made during that process. Tensions were already running high a week after a man yelling religious and racial slurs at 2 teenage girls on a Portland commuter train stabbed 3 passengers, killing 2 who intervened. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler urged federal authorities last week to rescind a permit for Sunday's pro-Trump rally, saying he worried about inflaming passions after the stabbing. But the U.S. General Services Administration, which manages the protest site, denied Wheeler's request, saying the permit was lawfully obtained weeks prior. Stuart Rhodes, a leader of Oath Keepers, told Reuters that members of his group provided security for the Trump rally at the request of the local Republican Party chairman. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
My fellow sheep, election season is upon us. Are you one of the 12% of Americans who still approves of our government? Then we need your help to force the other 88% into compliance. Our democracy depends on it. We're an organization called Citizens Against Too Much Unfettered Freedom, or CATMUF. CATMUF is a bipartisan flock of sheep whose goal is expanding government until nothing else remains. Because the government is here to help you. How can you help CATMUF help you? By only voting for candidates dedicated to expanding government. It's easy. You don't need to study the issues. No matter what a politician says when running for office, they're all dedicated to expanding government. And make sure you tell all your friends and family to vote for more government. Here at CATMUF, we don't care if you vote Democrat or Republican, as long as you vote for candidates committed to growing our federal family. CATMUF, because folks just aren't smart enough to handle real freedom.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free. Take control of the airwaves. Bring up anything you want to discuss. Coming up, Melanie is going to tell us about some conflicting opinions about maternity leave. We'll get into that coming up here with you tonight, by the way. It's Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
And we can also talk a little bit more about internet security and how the government, at the very least the UK Prime Minister, wants to destroy internet security and restrict highly your ability to access certain types of software online and certain types of websites. They are going to be proposing all kinds of restrictions coming soon if they get their way after this most recent terror strike over the weekend. So we can talk about all that, but we've actually got Brad, the mortician, on the line. In California, he's a freelance mortician, as he described himself in his last call, and he's called to give us a story from the road, because you were telling us that you go around from a dead body to dead body and you kind of clean up the scenes. So if somebody passes away in their apartment, you get the call sometimes to go and take them out of there and take them down to the morgue, for instance. Is that right, Brad?
Yeah, that's right.
So you were telling us that you were at some sort of place that you'd been called to remove a body, and they had called you in there, but you went to the location and there was nobody there. At least nobody was there to answer the door. Presumably there was a dead body inside, but nobody was around to let you in. So you went to the management of the apartment complex or whatever it was, and the manager, he took your credentials and he let you into the apartment. You were surprised when he didn't accompany you into the apartment. You were just allowed to go in there and do your thing. And so you had begun telling us that you were starting to look through the apartment for the body, and that's where you left your story as we had to go to the top of the hour news. So go ahead with the rest of it.
Yeah, well, I drove a van, station wagon kind of thing, and it's standard paint. It wasn't painted black or white or anything. It just out of the factory. And the back seats folded down so you could put 2 gurneys inside each station wagon.
Mm-hmm.
And
did the bodies have enough
very
headroom?
often. Huh?
Did the bodies have enough headroom?
It's a joke.
Yeah, and so I had curtains on the windows and behind my head, so you couldn't see what was in the back.
Right. You don't want to gross out the people that are know, driving next to you.
Yeah. But the back had room for 2 bodies.
Yeah.
And so I had a body that already, and so
Hold on, just to clarify, when you arrived at this scene you were telling us about, you already had picked up another body elsewhere, so you had 1 body in your hearse? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm looking around for this body. First thing I looked is the bedroom. That's usually where you find them. And so after looking around the house, a rather large house. It was, large apartment. It was, high class neighborhood. And I finally made my way around to the dining room area. There, hanging over the chandelier over the table, was the body.
Oh my!
And just hanging from the chandelier with a note around his neck saying, "Call the police, call the police, call the police," 3 times.
Wow. So he hung himself from the chandelier?
Presumably. But, I mean, why did he have to ask 3 times to call the police if it was done by himself?
Yeah.
You have no idea who hung this man, Ian. You're just jumping to conclusions.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, wow, I'm in a pickle here because usually, well, all the time, if you get a call like that, the police are already there.
Right.
You're not the first one on the scene.
The last person, you certainly don't want to be the first person that the police find at the scene, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So I walked in there. I'm going, oh man, I was beside myself. I go, okay. First thing I do is I go get the manager and go, hey, come in here and with me. And he goes, not me. And I go, oh. He says, you go call the police right now. And this is, let's see, I was.
How did they know to call you in to this scene if, like, nobody else had been called?
That's what made me very suspicious. It's like the person got murdered and the murderer called it in and split the scene or something. That was my first thought.
Weird.
And I'd already been walking around the residence.
Yeah, all the skin cells and hairs falling off of your body into a potential murder scene.
Yeah, and is the person still in the house or
sure?
And
yeah, that's kind of scary.
So
what happened?
And the guy refused to go back into the house with me.
Mm-hmm.
So he called, and this was before cell phones and all this. This is a long time ago, and so he went and called the police, and I waited for the police. Police showed up, went through all that, and they dismissed me from the scene, and so I got in my hearse and my station wagon, left the scene, and I usually when I well, not usually, but when I was kind of shaken up and I needed to calm down, I pick up hitchhikers.
You pick up hitchhikers to calm down in a hearse. I was figuring you were in California. You're just going to talk about medical marijuana, but no.
Man.
You pick up hitchhikers in a hearse.
I didn't see that coming.
Right after you find
picking up hitchhiker seems more of an upper than a downer to me.
It's
suicide scene. Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, that's why they called me the laughing mortician, because in order to relieve my stress, I had to let it out in kind of a funny way, and so I go down the road, and if somebody was sticking their thumb out, and back when I was doing it, the people were.
So, are we done with this story at this point, or is there any more? Because if so, you got to finish it up fast.
Well, I'll finish up fast. A lady was hitchhiking. I picked her up, and she goes, "What kind of vehicle is this?" I go, "It's a hearse." And I go, "Oh, do you have? Are you carrying a body?" I go, "Well, yeah, and she goes, "Can I see?" So I showed her the body, and that's really strange, because the last time I picked somebody up was a dude that was hitchhiking on the freeway, and he got in the car, and he looked, and he goes, "What's behind the curtain?"
I bet you get some interesting reactions. Brad, thanks for the call tonight. There's more coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live, 855-450, free like freedom. It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want.
Last week at Consensus 2017, a cryptocurrency conference in New York City, an agreement was made between 56 companies representing 83% of the hashing power for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an international internet currency that has, of late, taken the tech world by storm. In the agreement, they pledged to implement segregated witness, a long-needed patch for the Bitcoin software, at 80% acceptance instead of 95%, and increase the Bitcoin block size, relieving pressure on the network and lowering prices for transactions. This compromise is supported by the former head developer of Bitcoin, Gavin Andreessen, and Bitcoin.com's Roger Ver, along with 83% of the Bitcoin miners. Some of the core developers and the influential organization Blockstream do not support it, however. Although the finish line is not yet crossed, it may be in sight, and we here at Free Talk Live, along with most of you, breathe a sigh of relief, hoping that this opens the door to the continuation of the most important piece of software since the Internet. Find out more at Bitcoin.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is better than ever. I'm Pat Matthews, here to tell you that BuySellMakeOffer.com, the revolutionary site for buying and selling anything and everything, just upped the ante. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and click the Sign Me Up button. When you do, you'll get the first month free, and then it's just $9.95 a month to be a member forever. And you don't need a credit card for the initial setup. Create your own store on the site and sell whatever you want, as long as it's legal, however you want, and sell an unlimited number of items. Create your own intro video to describe what your store is all about. Use Skype to see who you're buying from or selling to. Sell unused household items, as well as antiques, cars, televisions, collectibles, real estate. The possibilities are unlimited. Use social networks to promote your store right from our site. Remember, there are never any fees, no matter how much you sell. Become a member today. I'm a member. Get all your friends to sign up, too. This could become a great business for you. Sell whatever you want for the first 30 days, free at BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free and join us on the radio here. You can bring up anything that's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well at Skype username LRN.FM. It's Ian, Melanie, and Mark in the studio tonight.
You don't need money to do business on Simbi.com. It's a slick, easy-to-use marketplace where you can trade your talents for other people's services and abilities. I just did it last week. Got a little piece of audio that I needed. Somebody whipped it right up for me. Paid 25 Simbi. You know what I paid for the 25 Simbi, Ian?
No.
Nothing. I traded some things out, and it's all trade. You start out with a little bit of Simbi, you begin doing some trades, you can accumulate more, spend it. It's incredible.
Wow.
You can forget the old economy. This is your economy. Simbi.com. You won't believe the diversity of services there at Simbi.com. Hundreds of thousands of people are acting within the symbiotic economy. So go get an account at Simbi.com. Take a look around, post your services, find some services you like, make some offers. Now, I think it's fair to say that some people probably, that have accounts aren't doing business there. But I'm finding a lot more responses than I'm finding, people that are unresponsive. So Simbi.com, Simbi.com.
Back to your calls and thoughts. We've got Dunker on the line from on the road, as he has been now for 2 days riding his bicycle from Florida, South Florida, the Sebastian area, all the way up to New Hampshire as part of his move up here. You mentioned that you had joined the Shire Society at shiresociety.com, which is one of the active movements. There are a couple different migrations of libertarians, voluntarists, liberty-loving anarchists, people who care about freedom are making the move up here, which is what me and Mark and Melanie have all done. And there are thousands of people here already as part of this migration, and you're going to be one of the newest ones. Dunker, welcome back to Free Talk Live.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just kind of blown out from today, so I hope I don't stumble over my words too much.
Okay. Long day of riding. You did over 104 miles, you reported yesterday on the, I believe, the Shire Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. How was today? Where are you at tonight?
I did 105 today, and I'm just outside of Jacksonville.
I figured that's where you'd end up. I looked at how far you had done yesterday and, checked it out. Now, you'd said yesterday you'd done about 100 miles also, and you'd had a little bit of bike trouble. So what's your excuse today, Dunker?
He said he can do about 100 miles a day.
I want to see 120.
I don't know.
Cheeseburger, or he had some kind of problems.
Well,
if he had a problem, I want to hear about it.
Even in a car, different kinds of terrain will allow you to go faster or slower. So I'm imagining that's exponentially true on a bike.
It's Florida. I know the terrain.
Are you mostly on
it's
road?
Flat and full of mosquitoes.
Are you mostly on road tops, Dunker?
Oh yeah. I did US 1 the first day, and the second day today I decided to let Google Maps tell me where to go, and it sent me on all kinds of wild goose chases, like dead ends and like, oh, this connects here to here, and it doesn't go anywhere.
Wow.
You can see on the link that I sent on my website, the it says Ride with GPS is the website.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 3 places on my route where I made like crazy loops and stuff because it looked like I was lost. I was just following what Google was telling me to do.
Now, is that because Google's biking directions are different from their, if you're in a car, directions? Because I know that when you search with a Google map, you can do bike, car, or walking. Presumably, it's giving you different directions because you're on a bike.
That's correct. I also think that maybe Google thinks that I wanted to be like a tourist and just see all the cool bike trails and stuff like that.
Could be.
Because some of these places didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty, but I lost a lot of time.
So now we know. I presume US 1 will get you where you want to go in most cases, and if you want to do the pretty thing, A1A likely will, give you a slightly more attractive route where you can see some
How far up
waters.
north does A1A go, though?
It comes and goes.
Okay.
So A1A is basically just the alternate,
alternate
Route 1. Yeah, it's alternate Route 1, and it's usually running along the beach side, seeing the more attractive areas and that kind of thing. So if you need an ice cream cone, A1A is a really great place to go.
Okay.
Those kind of things. But Route 1 does ride along some interstates, so it'll be intersect with interstates and then be combined with the interstate for a period of time. You're going to need
it's illegal to ride a bike on an interstate, right?
I'm not an attorney, and I wouldn't advise you to do anything like that in particular. But you can find another route around it. There'll always be something.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Actually, today I was on A1A for I don't know 35 or 40 miles, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it is beautiful over there.
So, anything else happened today besides just getting lost on Google Maps?
He did Florida in 2 days on a bicycle. I mean,
it's amazing.
Everything happened.
It's amazing. Well, you never know who you're going to meet. You never know what what.
Are you
run into.
sore? I mean, were you ready for this kind of biking? I know you bike a lot, but 100 miles, 200 miles in 2 days, more than 200 miles in 2 days is a lot of biking for anybody. Are you sore?
Yeah, a little bit. I got what's the expression? You get tired in places you didn't know you had places.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I hope you have a nice soft seat.
Well, he's going to be sleeping in a hotel room bed tonight, so at the very least.
That doesn't help the spot that you sit on a bicycle. True. It always feels like too long of a night in the county jail.
You've been taking pictures, posting them over at dunkerbike.com, which is your website. And there's a link up there as well to this site that is allowing people to see where you've been, which is the Ride with GPS links there, so people can actually look and see exactly what your ride has been like thus far. Anything else you want to share from as far as highlights?
You mentioned meeting interesting people, and everybody's been super pleasant to me. I've been wearing, I don't know if you can see in the pictures, I've been wearing my I'm already against the next war T-shirt.
Good shirt.
And I've gotten so many thumbs up and hey and peace symbols and things like that. People just walking up to me, I love your shirt, man.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And have you done any outreach to local media in the areas that you're going to be hitting up?
Not yet.
Okay.
Maybe I'll try that tomorrow.
Well, you're doing fine as far as talking on the air is concerned. And if you were actually on another show, then you'd have the excuse to talk about why you're doing this. I mean, we've already explained it, but on any other show, they're going to be wanting to know why you're doing it. Why on earth are you riding from Florida to New Hampshire? And that gives you the opportunity to talk about the libertarians that are moving up to New Hampshire, and then anybody else who One media tends to be kind of like monkey see, monkey do. So when one media company covers it, all the rest of them in the region are going to see that happen and then be like, we got to go talk to this guy. And then they will probably try to reach out to you, and you'll get even more media from that first one. Dunker, thanks for calling tonight. Ride safe out there. I appreciate the continued updates. DunkerBike.com if you want to follow along with what he's doing. He's taking lots of pictures and posting them. Thanks for the call tonight, dude. Appreciate it. We're coming up here at Free Talk Live.
Do you know what's lurking in your water? More than 200 contaminants could be sitting there, just waiting for your glass. With a ProPure water filter, start enjoying clean and great-tasting water today. ProPure filters, independently tested, latest water filter technology. ProPure systems do not require electricity and are easy to set up and easy to use. To find out more, visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Homeowners have much more to worry about than just making their mortgage payment. Can you afford to repair or replace your air conditioning when it stops working this summer? Or worse, a major plumbing problem? With National Home, you can say goodbye to repair bills. If you own a home, you could stop paying for these costly repairs. Best of all, call now to get 1 month of repair coverage for free. Get total protection for your home's major appliances and systems, so you have no more costly repair bills. Call 800-887-3022. That's 800-887-3022. 800-887-3022.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Morsels, helping you create special moments and memories your family will cherish forever. Visit us at tollhouse.com. You may bake for birthdays and holidays, but why stop there? Sweeten up the rest of the year by designating monthly dessert days. Treat your family to one of their favorites or surprise them with something new. Either way, you'll create a tradition everyone will love. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free, bring up what you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, private, and easy. Fees are low, and transactions are fast and can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. You can join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Just go to Dash.org and find out why. Again, Dash.org. Ian, Melanie, and Mark in the studio. Continuing with your calls and thoughts coming up, Melanie's going to talk about some conflicting opinions about maternity leave on the same website, CNN. Let's go to Sarah first in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Sarah.
Yes.
Hello.
I mentioned this before, but are you with me?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, okay. Sometimes I have my problems with my phone. That I had mentioned that they had took an algae and mutated a gene, and they have figured out to make insulin by the fat.
Yeah, we heard about this before. I think you might have been the one who called about this a couple of months back, that they can now make insulin, which has been a very expensive medical product, from relatively common algae now, so that should bring the price way down.
It should, but it's not gonna yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I'm assuming it hasn't been approved yet.
Well, the thing is, they're greedy. I mean, they could sell it really cheap, but they're motivated by profit motive. So, I think they're in cahoots with the soda pop companies to induce like diabetes to the mass public, so they could have a market to sell the insulin.
Well, that may or may not be true, but what we know is true is that they're hiring hiring, depending on how you want to look at it, they have, and they're not fighting against, they have the FDA who is telling their competition that they're not allowed to do business. So we know they have that. Whether or not they have some secret deal with Coca-Cola, I haven't seen any evidence of.
It doesn't make any sense.
But we know that there's this entity called the FDA who, if you're going to make cheaper drugs or even chemically identical drugs for a cheaper price, you're not allowed to do that, even if the patents run out, even if it doesn't matter. You have to be approved, and if you don't get approved by the federal government, you can't sell those drugs.
No drugs for you. That's one of the reasons why the prices are so high. It doesn't have as much to do with greed on the part of the manufacturers as much as it does the fact that they're prohibited from having competition, and of course competition drives prices down. But if they're the only company... But that's
the reason that the manufacturers colluded with the government to create the patent process around pharmaceuticals in the first place.
Did they make the patent process?
They always... Well, I mean...
Well, the patent process predates at least pharmaceuticals as we know them.
Pharmaceuticals, though. I mean, you don't think the pharmaceutical companies have some kind of control over the patent process for their particular portion of the industry?
They probably do.
They would be the only industry I know of that doesn't get input on, their stuff.
What about Sarah's conspiracy theory that the insulin companies are actually backing Coca-Cola and Pepsi and encouraging them to hook people on their
drugs?
I think
that it's it underestimates people's desire to eat sugar. I don't think the insulin companies need to do anything
Absolutely
like that.
not.
Because people like sugar.
I mean, I don't know and I don't care, because no one's under the delusion that drinking Coke every day is good for you. People are kind of neglecting to look at soda as a dessert food.
I thought pouring that black beverage down my throat every day was really good for me.
Yeah, I mean, people are looking at it as a drink when it's really should be looked at more of as a dessert food, and people know what they're doing. They want to drink soda. I mean, they don't need pharmaceutical companies to pay them to drink soda. They're going to drink soda because they want to.
When you grew up in your house...
let's let her respond. Go ahead, Sarah.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Well, they are, inducing a culture where people people are addicted to sweets, where they condition people.
But what evidence do you have that the insulin companies are inducing that culture?
Well, I'm just saying, I just want to expose the fact that that they could make all this very cheap, but they want a market for it. That's the part that I'm.
But the point of Sarah, the point of the algae development is that company is trying to bring prices down. If they didn't care
because of a profit margin. Because of a profit motive, excuse me.
Yeah. Well, to some extent, that's one of the main motives, but also some people get into healthcare because they actually care about people.
They wouldn't go anywhere. They wouldn't be able to produce it if they didn't have the profit motive. You wouldn't be able to hire the scientists.
No doubt.
They wouldn't be able to spend all day doing this stuff.
I'm just saying that's part of it for some people. Some people want to, the reason why they get in is to help people that have a, debilitating problem.
I mean, and even Pfizer or whoever owns insulin cannot use algae insulin until it's approved by the FDA. So actually, no, they can't do this.
And that might take years.
Or at least without getting raided by the feds.
Yeah, and that who knows how many years that's going to take for them to even...
The thing about it is that, no, wait, it has been, the insulin has been made by the algae for years and years and years.
That doesn't mean it's been approved. It takes a lot longer than that to get your drug FDA approved.
Okay, I thought this was a newer development. Are you saying this algae thing's been around for a long time?
Right. From what I was told, it's been around for maybe decades, but it's been kept a secret. That's why I'm trying to expose it to let the public aware. I want the people to know that they want us to have diabetes so they could make money off of you.
Okay, well, if it's been around for decades, then either somebody got it FDA approved, it's not financially feasible to get it FDA approved, or it's being blocked, or it's not safe. I mean, we don't know which one it is.
I don't know about that part of it, but it's profitable for them, for people to have their diabetes, 30 million people to have diabetes, so they could market this insulin. That's the part I'm talking about. That's the reason why we have the golf-size soda pop, and upsize your meal, you get an extra big pop. And they push the Skittles.
That is not the reason why. The fact that there are insulin manufacturers are not the reason why those things are happening. The reason why those things happen is because there's a demand in the marketplace for sweet foods and drinks.
Yeah, ask yourself this, Sarah. Which came first, candy or insulin? And once you can answer that question, you'll know what is at the source of the problem.
Well, Sarah would have no idea which one came first because she can't do any research without going to the library and looking in an encyclopedia because she doesn't use the internet. Sarah...
They have internet at the library.
Yeah, but she doesn't use the internet. Have you ever done a Google search, Sarah, in your life?
Oh, yeah, I know how to do a Google search, I could look things up, but then, you know what, that's my perspective.
But that would actually ruin your belief system if you actually looked this up, and you might have to learn a thing or two rather than just purely speculating on what the evil corporations are doing. And there's no doubt that... I think as Mark touched on, some of these companies support these regulations, even though it hurts them to some extent. They also protect them from competition, so they begrudgingly
they're paying
support
for a
it.
monopoly. It's a service with a cost. It's an illegitimate service, but it's a service.
Thank you, Sarah, for your call tonight. But people, when kids have sweet tooths, they're very attracted to sweet things. Mark, whenever your son comes over here, it's guaranteed that within after he works up the volition to do it, he will always ask me if he can go raid the candy stash, because I always buy the Halloween candy after Halloween so I can get it dirt cheap and then hold on to it for a year.
God, it's cheap.
It's the same candy. That stuff sits on shelves for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Well, that's the store is just going to put it in the back and put it back on the shelf next year.
It's not like Sweet Tarts have an expiration date.
Yeah, exactly. So, but kids love candy and sugary drinks, and people when they get older, their tastes change a little bit. But I think most everybody still likes something sweet over time.
It's always nice to have a little something after dinner.
855-450 free like freedom, and there are plenty of grown adults who drink soda nonstop throughout the day, and they don't need to be bribed into it.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2. Call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-940-9829. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-940-9829. Step 3. Congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-940-9829. That's 1-800-940-9829.
Are you drowning in debt? Are you struggling to make minimum payments? Did you know that on average a household with at least one credit card struggles with over $10,000 in credit card debt? If this sounds like you, know that it's not your fault. Credit card debt happens to good people. Credit card companies lure you in with low introductory rates and low minimum payments. Before you know it, you're in over your head. We've helped thousands of good people just like you become debt-free with our Debt Reset program that will dramatically reduce your debt down to a fraction of what you owe. Our Debt Reset program is customized to get you debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months with one low monthly payment. If you owe over $10,000 in credit card debt or even personal loans, call 800-912-6177. There are no upfront fees or out-of-pocket expenses. You don't pay a dime until we succeed. Call now to see how the Debt Reset program can work for you. 800-912-6177. That's 800-912-6177. Again, 800-912-6177.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu. 641-793-9660. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free, bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Joining you in studio tonight, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
Still to come tonight, Melanie will be telling us about some conflicting opinions about maternity leave. And, of course, you're welcome to share your thoughts on whatever's on your mind. We go to your calls and thoughts coming up here in a moment. Also, I do want to let you know about our Patreon, which is brand new. You can go to patreon.lrn.fm. If you like the idea of Free Talk Live and the dozens of other great liberty-oriented shows that you can hear on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm, if you like the idea of those being broadcast internationally via satellite, as they currently are over Sub-Saharan Africa, North and Central America, we've got 2 satellite channels that cover, I don't know how many countries, I would guess dozens. But you can help support that for $2 per month through our Patreon at patreon.lrn.fm. And you get some recognition, appreciation for that, including a LRN.FM badge on the Shire Forum and more. You can go to patreon.lrn.fm. We've had some people do $2 a month. We've had a couple people do $5 a month, because you can choose.
And thank you to you all.
Yeah, thank you to everybody. And then I think one guy did like $25 a month, which is awesome. So thank you. That helps us broadcast the ideas of liberty. And if we can eventually fully fund both the African and the American satellite channels,
onto Europe,
we could then expand to Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa, all in one satellite. So just by adding a third satellite, it would add a huge swath of the Earth by doing that. So head on over to patreon.lrn.fm to get behind that. As we go to Ricky, he is in Pennsylvania on via Skype. Go ahead, Ricky.
That would be the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania there, Brother Ian.
And you're on the radio, so go ahead.
Well, you know what? And, good evening to you, Brother Mark, and you too, Sister Melanie. Yeah. You know what's funny? I'm sitting here, and every time Sarah goes on, Sarah managed to just destroy everything that I enjoy in life.
How's
everything
that?
from democracy
successful
to Coca-Cola to smoking. I mean, I thought I disliked Federalists, but I got serious issues with communists. And I got another question. She's talking about
Now,
this
that's
whole
funny because you
silver theory.
supported Hillary Clinton in the election last year. It sounded to me like you supported a communist.
Well, I wouldn't call Hillary a communist.
What would you call her?
Hillary?
Well, and see, now, did you
funny.
support Hillary or did you go against Trump? Because I feel like those are two different things.
I agree.
Okay, if you really want to know, my answer to all of this is, as a Democratic Republican, let's face it, did I go against Trump? Well, you're damn straight. Trump was horrifying. And if you remember correctly, I pointed out several things way, way back. And now they're just starting to be talked about now. It's like people are kind of slow to this. If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it probably is one.
Yeah, that's the problem with being a visionary like you are, Ricky.
Well, I mean, my serious concern about all of this that Sarah's saying is I think about this, and, a lot of people, I mean, guys give me crap sometime, but, I mean, listening to Sarah, I mean, you point about the internet, that's going to be the next thing. She's going to be all for this censorship stuff because it's going to be for our benefit to protect us for some odd reason.
Maybe she would. You're right. I don't know.
The nanny statists, man, there's nothing. There ain't no fun when a nanny statist around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about when she finds out that, they're starting to traffic with traffic lights and you got the internet hooked up to that and all that stuff? Is she even aware of some of these things?
No, she
I
doesn't
hope I
know
didn't say something I shouldn't have.
Yeah, no,
she doesn't listen to the show either.
She's the most consistent caller who never listens to the show.
She's busy with Law and Order and CSI. She just rings us up. She's got like a little alarm.
You think she watches TV?
I don't know.
I don't think she.
Yeah, but on a
she's always
serious
calling
note.
radio shows, Mark. That's what she does.
Yeah, well, she probably has people telling her to call radio shows. She probably has TV.
I don't.
But on what? But if I
That's a
may,
good
on a
question.
serious question to all
We should
you.
ask her.
Now, I'm a devout Coke drinker since I was 4 years old.
Devout. Now, what does it mean to be a devout Coke drinker?
I can't stand Pepsi and other
But
things.
does that mean that you don't drink anything else? Like in the morning, you crack open a fresh can of Coke. You got one with you when you go to bed. I mean, what does it mean to be a devout Coke drinker?
Whenever it's cola, I drink Coca-Cola.
So
Okay.
he drinks Coke to his mind. This definition for him is he drinks Coke to the exclusion of other colas.
I see.
I do
Coke
too,
and Pepsi is
but I can't.
Democrats and Republicans.
But
let's
how
face it.
much do you drink? Okay, how
Wait
much?
a second. Am I a Democrat or a Republican because I drink Coke?
That's another story. you
No,
know,
we
if
don't
you
want to
look-
get into another story. I want to know about the habit. Okay, so I get what you're saying now. You're saying that you are a brand loyalist to Coca-Cola, but tell me about how often you drink it.
Well, I have to admit my caffeine addiction. I progressed to black coffee by the time I was 10, I have to admit, plus
Okay.
other caffeinated substances. And I'm not trying to give credence to anybody. All that stuff's natural in there. It's just bad when it's all put together. But I'll tell you, probably for me to be happy, Oh, I like to have a minimum of a 2-liter. I mean, I was already at points where I was a case a day, you know. But here's
so
my
you would crank through a 2-liter bottle of Coke per day when you were younger, but now you're more of a coffee drinker?
Oh, I get lots of that, too.
What does a day for Ricky today look like? What is a typical day for Ricky as far as drinking Coke and coffee?
Beverages.
What beverages do you consume throughout the day?
Well, generally speaking, Coca-Cola, coffee, I hit Tang in the morning.
Tang?
Rolling Rock, like Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock mixed with Tang?
No, just by itself.
Okay.
Now you start to sound like Daryl. But no, I have a question for all you.
Good one.
I got a question for all you there.
Okay.
Now, my big concern as a Coke drinker, and see, I got another problem because when I grew up, and Mark will identify with this, and I don't know about you there, Brother Ian, because you're a little bit younger, but when you go buy Coca-Cola, you go out there, it's a Coca-Cola, and it's made with sugar. This crap here, I got some right here, in fact, next to me, made with corn syrup. So Sarah's missing the whole point. I got a problem with the whole sugar thing personally, and I've chimed in on this before with the sugar tax. And, you know,
so you're saying you prefer the like the Mexican Coke, which is made with real sugar, as opposed to corn syrup?
Yeah, and I'll tell you guys and girls something really fascinating. It was a couple years back. It was like back in 2013. I went to my local store, and they actually had a bottle of Coca-Cola. Now, these were in the 12-ounce bottles. This was not the Mexican Coke, but it was just regular Coca-Cola made with sugar and all that original formula. There's no, Spanish writing or anything on this, and they just threw a bunch out there. And I swear it was for test marketing, but it seems purposeless. I do prefer.
They threw a bunch of what out there?
Original type Coke.
A couple flats of this Coca-Cola, and then it came and it went. You know, and it was regular.
Was that the new Coke? What was that?
No, that was just regular Coca-Cola.
When did they start doing the corn syrup version of Coca-Cola?
Right, it was not that. It was regular Coca-Cola made with sugar right on there. You know, but it wasn't the Mexican stuff.
Okay.
Which is the same stuff. I mean, personally, there's a big difference because I'll be honest with you, I make do with the corn syrup stuff. Don't know what it's doing to me. It hasn't killed me yet. But I'll be honest with you, I don't particularly care for it. Never did.
It's doing really similar things to you that Coke with sugar would do. I remember they had Pepsi in the Raw, which is something they marketed for a period of time.
But they use raw sugar, right?
Yeah,
cane sugar?
Yeah, sugar. You know, real sugar in Pepsi. And I did buy one of those, and I didn't finish the whole thing. It turns out it tastes like Pepsi, and I don't like that.
You don't like Pepsi?
Yeah, but nonetheless, I gave it a shot.
You know what was really good there, Mark? And this is another one going by. I show you what a big difference sugar makes as opposed to corn syrup. Take a look at they had that retro Mountain Dew.
Oh yeah, I could not even try that.
Why? Oh, because too much caffeine.
That's the best.
Hey, Ricky, thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate hearing from you. Better to talk. I actually enjoyed talking with Ricky about like normal
caffeine
things like drinks and caffeine than any kind of political stuff. Hey, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. Maybe you want to talk about your habits.
Ricky drinks like 3 pots of coffee and then a 2-liter of Coke per day.
He didn't say how much coffee he drank.
I'm just saying the guy's a caffeine addict.
Sounds that way.
Yeah. So there you go. I can't drink any. I have to drink
a little bit will set you off.
Decaf coffee. I have to be careful of dark chocolate. That's how sensitive I am. I drink decaf coffee, and then if I do have a Coke, it's the gold one. It's caffeine free. I generally just drink root beer. By the way, best tasting root beer out there I've found at this point is Virgil's root beer. It comes in a 4-pack, and it's like $7.50 for
Where do you get
the 4-pack. Just at the regular grocery store. It's enough people buy it that it
yeah, there's usually every place, all 2 places I've lived, right, has had a really good root beer made with sugar without caffeine. It was like super expensive.
The toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. I've had that hard root beer, and that's really good too, the adult root beer. More coming up here in moments. You can share your thoughts. Hour number 3 on the way. We can talk maternity leave, computer security, or whatever's on your mind. You can take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live.
Need a web
website for your blog or new business, it can be pretty intimidating
on your own. And that's why Free Talk Live has partnered with HostGator, one of the top hosting companies. HostGator offers a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress, 24/7 over-the-phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive, user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation back into your hands. Go to HostGator.com/FTL and you'll get 50% off of their regular hosting prices. 50% off. HostGator.com/FTL. You've said it yourself. We need a healthcare system that focuses on health, not sickness. Health insurance pays for treating sickness but gives you nothing for being healthy. There's a free market healthcare company that gives you freedom from health insurance. They give you a proactive health assessment daily, no charge 24-hour access to doctors. Check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. Any kind of doctor, traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and price. healthexcellenceselect.com. healthexcellenceselect.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Canaan, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, June 5th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.40 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,281 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,590. Antiwar.com reports a Reuters TV crew in western Mosul's Zanjili district photographed the bodies of dozens of dead civilians left in the streets who were identified as people who have tried to flee the district, which has been the site of heavy fighting over the past 2 days. The reporters obviously arrived on the scene after the fact and conceded that they weren't able to conclusively say how everyone was killed. Many are believed to have been shot by the Islamic State forces, who have been firing on them trying to leave, while other reports suggest that some of the casualties were results of U.S. airstrikes. Large numbers of civilians remain trapped in western Mosul, reflective both of the Islamic State attempts to prevent them from leaving and warnings by both U.S. and Iraqi officials at the start of the city's invasion, way back in October, that they should not attempt to flee and might find themselves targeted as suspected the Islamic State if they did. Early warnings not to flee have proven disastrous for the invading forces, who have struggled with an offensive regularly stalled by incidents of huge civilian casualties, and where Iraqi forces have several times taken time out to try to evacuate civilians who, but for the warnings, would have been able to leave the city long ago. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports riot police turned out in force in downtown Portland, Oregon on Sunday to maintain order as supporters and opponents of President Donald Trump faced off in dueling political rallies a week after racially charged killings shook Oregon's largest city. The Trump free speech rally drew hundreds of demonstrators to a public square near City Hall, where a far larger throng of counter-protesters and onlookers massed on 3 sides of the park in a heated encounter that grew tense at times but remained mostly peaceful. Dozens of black-clad masked masked anti-Trump protesters waved an Antifa action flag at pro-Trump activists across the street at one point, yelling, "Nazis go home," while members of the opposing rally, some carrying American flags, chanted, "USA, USA." A phalanx of helmeted police officers took up positions to keep the two sides apart, breaking up scuffles and detained protesters seen crossing police lines to agitate the other side. Police reported at least 4 arrests and displayed photos on Twitter of weapons seized from demonstrators, including a hunting knife, brass knuckles, clubs, roadside flares, a slingshot, and several homemade shields. Tempers and shoving matches flared periodically, but law enforcement kept violence mostly in check. Late in the day, as the pro-Trump rally was coming to an end, police ordered counter-demonstrators to disperse from 2 adjacent parks, prompting some in the crowd to hurl rocks and other projectiles at police. Officers responded by firing volleys of pepper ball rounds. The confrontation appeared to be winding down after police corralled a group of about 200 stragglers on a nearby street, then herded them single file through a checkpoint where each was photographed in order to show identification before being released. Several more arrests were made during that process. Tensions were already running high a week after a man yelling religious and racial slurs at 2 teenage girls on a Portland commuter train stabbed 3 passengers, killing 2 who intervened. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler urged federal authorities last week to rescind a permit for Sunday's pro-Trump rally, saying he worried about inflaming passions after the stabbing. But the U.S. General Services Administration, which manages the protest site, denied Wheeler's request, saying the permit was lawfully obtained weeks prior. Stuart Rhodes, a leader of Oath Keepers, told Reuters that members of his group provided security for the Trump rally at the request of the local Republican Party chairman. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Our very own Tracy met farmer Ray Kimball, who says that his horse, Franklin, has the ability to speak full sentences.
When did you first realize he could talk?
Well, I'd hear him saying things when I was sleeping, and then I'd go out to the barn and we'd have some real conversations.
Can we talk to Franklin?
He can't wait to meet you. Say hi, Franklin. What's that? That's a good one.
What did he say?
He said, "Who's the pretty lady?"
Aw. Franklin, do you like living on the farm?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Did he say something?
Tracy, you live here now.
I spent a cozy night at Ray's farmhouse in a room he called the altar. I learned that the farmer has a whole lot more on his mind than just a talking horse.
You are my beloved.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. We invite you here to join us on the radio and take control of the airwaves. Bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. With you tonight, you've got Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
We're going to go back to your calls and thoughts. Coming up, Melanie will be talking about some conflicting opinions about maternity leave on the same news source. We'll share that with you, and you can share your thoughts. Let's go to the phones, to the fun, where we have Ralph on the line in New Jersey. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Ralph.
You know, I'd like to talk about that situation with Bill Maher.
Bill Maher.
And the outburst when then you come to the right person to talk about this, because I
What?
have my
Well,
moments,
first of all, we don't know what the situation is. I think I might have heard something about an N-word.
Right, the N-word, right, exactly. And I work in the field. And, you can't blame Bill Maher for that outburst, because El Negro Cafer is the one who made him do it.
Who?
Notice if you will. El Negro Cafer.
Who?
El Negro Cafer.
Can either of you make out what he's saying?
Kafer? I don't know.
Kafer?
Yes.
What is Kafer? Is that a person?
A-F-F-I-R.
We don't know who that is.
Affir.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but how did he make him? Was there a gun involved?
That's Obama for you. That is Obama for you. How quick we forgot about the man, okay? How quick. Obama is the one who made him do it, and I tell you why I come to that conclusion.
Hold on. Obama is Kafer?
Is the one who made Bill Maher.
Obama was on the show with Bill Maher when he said the N-word?
So Obama is powerful enough to control people, but petty enough to go around controlling comedy routines.
Melanie, listen. How come they didn't go to Obama to get a reaction on that one? Huh?
Because he's not the president anymore.
I have no idea why, but I don't generally blame somebody if they get punched. I don't say that the person who was punched was forced.
Where's the Black Lives Matter? Where's Jesse Jackson? Where's Al Sharpton? Where are
Jesse Jackson's probably in Chicago. Al Sharpton's probably in New York.
I mean, you got Kathy Griffin now claiming I was victimized. Okay, that has nothing to do with her with Kathy Griffin being a woman.
Now you're talking about the comedian who had a picture with her holding up Donald Trump's decapitated head. What does she have to do with all this? I'm sorry. I got to say, I don't know.
You have to put two and two together. But, I'd like to really want to talk once again about black criminality. Okay?
What about just pure criminal? What about just criminality? What about just regular criminality? What about criminality from all sources?
No, we will talk about
You're
black
obsessed, dude. You are obsessed with race.
And Obama is too. And the fact
I doubt that Obama is as obsessed as you are.
Rarely
I doubt
mentioned it.
And Obama is as racist as anyone else in this country.
I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, it was.
Well,
whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have power anymore.
Does that mean he's self-hating? Because isn't he half white? Or is he just racist against, Asians or something like that?
He's I have said before, he's one with Satan, he's one with animal blood, he's one with, and still does, okay? He's one with the radical Islam.
Is Satan also on the side of President Duterte, or is is Jesus his buddy?
Well, I'm glad that you bring up the issue of President Duterte.
That's the president of the Philippines, by the way, for folks who don't know.
I kind of find it very interesting that he has support actually with the white nationalist group in this country.
You think it's interesting?
Right.
Well, what? Are you surprised by that?
Well, it has something to do with him taking on Obama, I suppose.
No, it has to do with the fact that the white nationalists are racist, and so is the president of the Philippines.
Oh, this is really, you don't know that for a fact. You really don't know that for a fact, okay?
You're right, I don't. I was jumping to a conclusion based on the stereotype that people in the Philippines hate black people, which of course applies to you.
Let me tell you something. Him taking on Obama puts Obama in his place. And speaking of putting that animal in his place, what about the fact that Vladimir Putin take a broadside on Obama with that Megyn Kelly one-on-one?
I don't know what you just said.
He definitely did.
No, I'm going to thank you for your call. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. I don't know what he said there. 855-450-3733. But the HBO late-night host Bill Maher apologized on Saturday, according to the New York Times, for using a racial epithet during an interview with Senator Ben Sasse. Is that what he was saying? What was
I don't think that's how it works, though. You can't just do things and be like, oh, this turned out badly for me. I'm sorry now.
Republican.
Because that's what this is.
The senator, in this case a Republican from Nebraska, was a live broadcast of Bill Maher's show on Friday night. Oh, so I guess he doesn't do the that old show that he did, that panel show. Remember that one?
Yeah, it was.
What was that one called?
Politically Incorrect.
Politically Incorrect. I guess he's not doing that anymore. Anyway, HBO denounced the remark as, quote, completely inexcusable and tasteless, unquote, and said it would be edited out of future airings. Shortly after 10 p.m. on Friday, Mr. Maher, the comedian and host of HBO's Real Time was talking...
It was so tasteless, they're going to keep airing the show.
...to Mr. Sassy on his program about the boundaries between adolescence and maturity and how adults in California still dress up for Halloween. When Mr. Sassy said this didn't happen in his state, Mr. Mars said, quote, "I've got to get to Nebraska more," unquote. Mr. Sassy replied, quote, "You're welcome. We'd love to have you work in the fields with us," unquote. Mr. Mars said, "Work in the fields, Senator? I'm a house N. No, it's a joke," unquote. Some audience members were heard to groan while others clapped. Neither Mr. Marr or Sassy addressed the comments further at the time, and the conversation moved on to other subjects.
See, I guess it's not like he was...
It's a strange thing to say.
It's a strange thing to say. I don't think it is indicative of racism. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I would
here?
agree with you there.
He identified as the N-word here.
Yeah.
And
suggesting that he's not cut for working in the fields.
Right, not cut for that. Not to suggest that very many people are cut for working in fields these days. Basically this is an incident where somebody who appears white is just not allowed to use the N-word. I understand. But I'm of the opinion nobody should use the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a term that should not be used. I look to, Oprah Winfrey and, other leaders in the black community to see whether or not they use it in their day-to-day lives, and, they don't. I shouldn't even say black community. They're just people, and they don't use it.
Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Let's go to Dave. He's in New Hampshire. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I had a couple more thoughts that I had sort of neglected to get to about Jerry Delemus when I called in a night or two ago.
Jerry Delemus is one of the people who's being prosecuted right now out in Nevada for being a supporter several years ago of the folks that were being attacked by the Bureau of Land Management. If you may recall, there was a large standoff between the federal government and the Bundy family, the Bundy Ranch. And Delemus was a New Hampshireite who traveled out there and stood to support those folks, presumably with a gun, and he's been charged with stuff.
So my thought is that we need to take events like these, and we need to be building an engine that runs on the fuel of federal abuse. Right? If we've got that, then the more federal abuse there is, the better the engine runs. And I don't feel like we're doing enough in this regard at this point, but ultimately I think that them arresting him and sentencing him so severely will feed that engine. But anyway,
what's going on with that case? We haven't really. I think the last time we heard anything about it was when you called in several weeks back, if not a few months ago. So, Dave, if you want to give us the latest, stand by. More with Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. He's calling us from New Hampshire, and you can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, you can join us on the radio. Bring up what you want. Free Talk Live.
For P150, P150GA, P150NY, P150OK, P150TN, C250A, C250E, C250Q. Not available in all states. If New York or Colorado, call for a similar offer.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $100, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company, 1-800-972-1059. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away. So you can call today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired. There are no networks, so you can choose any dentist you'd like. Call now for a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-972-1059. That's 1-800-972-1059. 1-800-972-1059.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free. Join us here on the radio waves. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, and you can take control of the airwaves here with Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
We're going to go back to the phones and the fun. Also, I do want to let you know, actually, Mark, you want to let us know an update on hope.freetalklive.com.
I do. I really need to let people get an update. So at this point, the orphanage that we're building in Jinja, Uganda, right there near the shores of Lake Victoria. Tanganyika, I think, is the original name for it.
Oh, okay.
I think that's why they're called Tanganyikan cichlids, the special fish that are there. They're sort of separated for a long time from sort of the rest of the world, and they're very special and pretty. They fight a lot. Anyway. The orphanage is the first floor is built, and then about the second floor, about halfway up, the walls are put in. They've got some steps going in, but production stopped. We ran out of money, and we're looking to raise $2,500 to sort of get back going. And I want to keep things going because we're keeping the workmen in work. Otherwise, they go off to another job and they're harder to get back. And we just didn't have the money coming in. It's difficult to coordinate with Ndafuna, the guy who's in charge over there, because his English is not great, and I don't entirely understand what he's saying when he says it. So I'm sorry that that I'm just giving you the word, but I need the donations to come back in. I need them to pick up. We need $1,000 more to get the $2,500 he needs to get the workman back on the job, and then I can raise another $1,500 after that to sort of meet to get the $4,000 total that we need to put the roof on. So please, folks.
So wait, you need a total of $2,500?
I need a total of $4,000.
Total of $4,000.
I've got about $1,500 earlier today when I counted it up, and then I got some donations after that. And I need to.
But the donations are tripled, aren't they?
They are tripled by both Cell 411 and Jax.io.
Okay.
Fortunately, Virgil Viduva of Cell 411 did a share on Facebook, which boosted up my my donations, and I need people who are listening right now to go to hope.freetalklive.com. I've revamped the little page there at hope.freetalklive.com, so it might be a little easier for you maybe to find the GoFundMe page, the PayPal link.
So when you say you have 1,500 in donations, what you mean is you had 500 that was tripled?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So I need 300 more to triple, then get to have 2,500. I'd like to do it tomorrow, and remember they're on a different time schedule than we are. I can't send it out if I don't have it. I'll send it out tomorrow, and then they'll get it. They'll turn it into U.S. dollars, or I'm sorry, into shillings, Ugandan shillings. They'll buy the equipment, the stuff that they need, which is like concrete, nails, and those sorts of things. I've got all the things that they're asking for right now, plus an updated picture right at hope.freetalklive.com, and you can go see all that right there. So there you go. Please, hope.freetalklive.com. I'm trying to look at what they're looking for: nails, cement, timbers. I presume that's to hold up roofs. Sand, hardcore, which is some kind of rock stuff. Iron bars, which is what they call rebar. And banding wire and hoop iron.
Hope.freetalklive.com. And let's go back to Dave in New Hampshire. Dave, you were telling us about Jerry Delemus. I was wondering what the latest is on his case. He's one of the guys who's been caught up with federal charges for going out and making a stand with the Bundy Ranch. It's been several years now since that happened, but they just recently arrested him, I think sometime last year. Is he still being held pending trial? What's the latest?
He was just sentenced to 80 some odd months in prison, and he was charged with, I think this is a pretty exact quote, committing an offense. I'm sorry, conspiring to commit an offense against the United States, which of course doesn't really mean anything specific. The specific things that he apparently did were driving to Nevada, having one or more firearms, and standing in the same location as some militia-type people, and being allegedly some sort of mid-level leader. Now, that part I don't know if that's true or not. But,
so he didn't actually hurt anybody.
Correct. And
so for conspiracy to do something against the United States, he's been sentenced to more than 6.5 years of his life in prison.
Correct.
Was this a plea deal?
Yeah, he did make a plea deal, and they punished him for attempting to withdraw the plea deal. He tried to go back on that and renegotiate it, so they gave him an extra 16 months for that, apparently.
Now,
how do they do that?
They can do whatever they want.
If they essentially reopen the case, then it's reopened.
So I was going to say, Melanie went to school for lawyering, so she probably has a better opinion about this than a lot of us.
We need to make it so that when they do this to a New Hampshireite, it's a bigger deal than when they do it to someone from another state. And the two things, very small concrete things that each of your listeners can do if they want to about this, it won't cost them anything. You could look up John Hackett on Facebook, who has become Jerry's top defender on Facebook, and has traveled to Nevada to help defend him. I think he's from New Hampshire, and he said he's going to stay there. So just look up John Hackett if you want to get directly involved in this, or if you want to do something more indirect, come join us on our discussion group at nhexit.com, our Facebook discussion group there. If this grows, John Hackett's movement, or it grows NHExit, the idea of independence from the Union,
Is Delemus a supporter of secession?
I doubt it, but I'm a supporter of his human rights.
Yeah.
If we have independence,
should we though spend our time? I mean, I see what you're saying, Dave, and you're definitely somebody who I have a lot of respect for as an activist. But obviously, everybody's time is limited, and should
no,
you
I'm
said
not asking you. Just go to nhexit.com and come to our Facebook group.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but what I wanted to say was that obviously everybody's time is limited, and I see your point about you want to make it a bigger deal if somebody from New Hampshire is attacked by the federal government. But, I mean, should we really be spending our time on people who leave New Hampshire to go somewhere else and fight the federal government? I mean, there's a lot of people out there. Shouldn't we focus more on the people who stay in New Hampshire?
We've got to focus on what's in front of us. And there are, I mean, if someone else is doing something more interesting and important, I'm interested in supporting that. But this is what's going on today.
Yep, you've got to go to war with the army you've got, and
yeah, but
today,
everybody who gets arrested from New Hampshire in another state, we don't have time to support all those people. I mean, I don't have time to support every libertarian out there.
Are you sure? I mean, I'm running out of things to call Free Talk Live about because there's not a sufficient level of activity for me to report on something every night. So I think there is room to do more, and it really doesn't take. I mean, again, you're on Facebook anyway. You're involved in politics talking anyway. You might as well focus on something New Hampshire related where it counts.
But is this really New Hampshire related? I mean, the guy is from New Hampshire.
Absolutely. He's one of our people. He's a New Hampshireite. We're supposed to be building an umbrella under which New Hampshireites can function effectively without the government.
I don't think they can expect to function outside of New Hampshire, though.
NHExit.com?
Yeah, great site. Thanks for the call, Dave. I appreciate hearing from you. More coming up here, 855 450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Love or loathe him, Donald J. Trump is our 45th president. There is no denying now that Trump will go down in history, both despised and admired. Commemorate Trump's presidency with your very own Trump silver bust from TrumpSilverStatue.com. This museum-quality heirloom Trump silver statue bust is hand-cast from 20 troy ounces of silver, a great investment. From TrumpSilverStatue.com. Loathed or loved, own a valuable piece of Trump's legacy. Get your solid silver Trump bust today at TrumpSilverStatue.com.
Are you retired or facing retirement and you're afraid your income is going to be less than you'd like? I'm Pharmacist Keith. Dr. Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy, and I want to show you a low-cost way to create your own business working around your current schedule, creating extra income that will last for years to come by joining Dr. Wallach's crusades, spreading his message of better health. To learn more, visit radio.recordedvideo.com. That's radio.recordedvideo.com, radio.recordedvideo.com, or call 866-257-3105 for a recorded message.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends radio show. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgoristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agorist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any tomfoolery. So go with AgoristHosting.com. And if you want to get your foot in the door with decentralized marketplaces, Agorist Hosting is now offering Open Bazaar hosting. Go to agoristhosting.com, click on the button that says Get Hosted. Agorist Hosting, that's AGORIST hosting.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free. You can bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. Tonight with you in studio, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
And want to let you know about shop.freetalklive.com. If you're going to be buying stuff online through Amazon, then please take a moment before you go to Amazon and go to shop.freetalklive.com. You'll find Amazon links there for Amazon Canada, US, UK. You click into the right Amazon for you, and then Free Talk Live gets a portion of the purchase price. It's that simple. The same great selection that you're used to. It's Amazon as you're normally used to it. You're just entering through our affiliate link, so Free Talk Live gets credit for the sale that you whatever it is that you buy. So go to shop.freetalklive.com and check that out. So we were just talking with Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com, and he's bringing up this case about a New Hampshire man who went out to the Bundy Ranch and made a stand against the federal government. The federal government was trying to come in on these people's land and take over or whatever it was that they were doing. I forget the exact.
Bureau of Land Management had taken control over land that had been previously state-run. They had were grazed
there
their
was some
cows
grazing
there
rights
for generations, and then for whatever reason the Bureau of Land Management said, well, no, and then the BLM took some cows, and then
it came down to a showdown. Basically, nobody ended up getting shot. But there were armed people on both sides, the federal government side and the ranchers' side, and one of them was this guy from New Hampshire, Jerry Delemus. Dave Ridley says he's one of us. I don't know if that's true. I don't know the guy. He's from New Hampshire. I don't know if that means that he's a libertarian or anything like that. And so my point was that if our time is limited, and I know mine is, our time is limited, we should only be focusing on it if we're going to be the most effective on the people who matter the most. And to me, the people that matter the most are the ones that are closest. It's nice to be able to support somebody outside of here. Like, we got behind Ross Ulbricht's trial because that's, for a lot of us, a very meaningful trial. Ross was the creator of the Silk Road, the underground darknet marketplace, and he happens to be a Free State Project participant, but he joined after the fact. After he'd already been arrested. I think a lot of people got behind him who were in New Hampshire because they saw his case as very important, as a real stand for the free market and freedom of the press. And I don't know if Jerry Delemus's case has the same oomph to it.
Well, I mean, maybe what Dave is hoping is that Free Talk Live will create that oomph, and I don't know the answer to that. I tend to
I can tell you I'm not as excited by it.
Well, in some cases are important for practical reasons. Like Ross's case, whether you like him or hate him or don't care, that case is important and will have effects on future people. That's probably not true unless there's something I don't know about this guy who was kind of on the periphery of getting arrested for essentially helping this guy, providing free security to this one property owner.
Correct.
I kind of agree with you on this one. I like the notion of concentrating on New Hampshire. I moved here to New Hampshire with the hope of changing the government of New Hampshire to provide me with the maximum role of government being the protection of life, liberty, and property, as the pledge implies. But and so when one leaves sort of the protective polygon known as New Hampshire, I just feel sort of less inclination to help them. I can understand Dave's frustration. Dave is the most of activists of here, right? Like he's in the top 1%.
He's top tier for sure, yeah.
Top tier activist, top 1%, top 0.1%.
He's up there with Daryl Perry.
And Ian Freeman and Mark Edge, right? Like those are people that work every day for activism, if not here in New Hampshire, but for people's liberty around the world. But
I focus most of my activism on New Hampshire. I mean, that's
you focus most of your activism on Free Talk Live, which is international.
Yeah, but it's it's part of an overall message of driving people to New Hampshire.
So
I mean, I want libertarians to come to the one place in the world where there are the highest concentration of libertarians. If somebody then leaves, and a lot of people have left, there have been dozens of people who've moved here, and I'm just talking about the Keene area. There have been dozens of people who have come here and then they've left. And, I wish them all the best, but I'm not keeping track of where Andrew Carroll and, Michelle Seven and, all these other folks have gone to. I sort of generally know, but I don't keep in constant contact with them. And if something happens to them, I'm not going to pick up my, my radio show and take it on the road to go out to California or New Jersey or wherever it is they are if they get arrested in one of those states, whereas I certainly would go to back them if they got arrested in, Jaffrey, New Hampshire or Concord or something, something like that. My time's limited. My resources are limited. And if you leave the safety of the relative safety of the activist community that we have here, you're kind of out on your own. That's what you chose for yourself.
And not me, because I haven't really done that much for that particular thing. There's kind of been people who've created not really a safe place to be, but a safer place to be compared to the rest of the states. And so they've worked to create that, and we're not done yet, and so we really can't expand yet. If you leave that area, you can't really expect those same, and it is a service, like it's a service that you're getting for free. People have kind of fought the state and made it a little bit smaller. You can't really take that with you. And yeah, you have to leave sometimes temporarily for, maybe you work in Mass or you have to go see your family in some other state or something.
Yeah.
But you don't, if I go visit my parents, I'm not going to protest outside the St. Tammany courthouse because I know I'm going to get arrested.
Yep.
Because the only person who's ever done that had got arrested within 5 minutes.
I'm the same way. I saw a cop talking to somebody on the streets of New York City. We were just there on Friday for the Talkers seminar, the convention that we go to yearly. And, of course, my first thought as a cop block activist is to, go over there and see what's going on and see if this cop's harassing this person, pull out a video camera and record. But then I realized, wait a minute, I'm in New York City, and I'm not interested in making a stand here. This is not my fight. This is not, my place. These are not my people. I wish that person the best, but it's none of my business at this point.
And we all went to the same place on purpose. It makes a little bit of sense to kind of be in one place and have a bunch of people doing the same thing. Fighting the state with, 2,000 people allegedly makes a little bit more sense than, I'm by myself in New York City or Covington, Louisiana, or some city in California. Let me fight the state, me versus them. That's not really the same fight.
Yeah, and if something did happen to me, If, by some chance the cops happen to pull us over as we're driving through Manhattan and there's a warrant out or whatever, and, we end up getting arrested or, whatever the circumstances are, we get arrested in some other place, I don't expect anybody from New Hampshire to get in their car and come down to, bail me out. It's my problem. I left New Hampshire. I took the risk of leaving this place where there are, a couple thousand liberty-minded people who've moved here, most of whom aren't going to come to the trial anyway. But
it's not that I don't disagree with you. It's that I don't think you're talking about the logic of this. So I intended to move to work on the government of New Hampshire, which we could then use as a crystal to, to turn the light of liberty into a laser against the federal government. I'm not for the federal government by any stretch of the imagination, but I need to forge the crystal first before I can go and do the work that is beyond here. And I need more people, more active people. And that's the thing that I found most telling about Dave's conversation was Dave said there's nothing going on. And this is a complaint I've had for some time is that I don't see the activism that 2,000
you don't talk to the activists.
And 2,600 Friends of the Free State, 4,600
Well, first of all, the 80-20 rule is always in effect, so 80% of your activism is going to be done by the 20%.
Why would those 80% of people move if they weren't going to do it? They just came to enjoy New Hampshire?
If you're talking about the Free State Project, that only requires people to exert their maximum possible influence practical influence. That could mean, going and writing a letter to the editor and voting once a year. More coming up. It's Free Talk Live. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Do you need a website for your blog or new business? It can be pretty intimidating on your own, and that's why Free Talk Live has partnered with HostGator, one of the top hosting companies. HostGator offers a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress, 24/7 over the phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive, user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation back into your hands. Go to HostGator.com/FTL and you'll get 50% off of their regular hosting prices. 50% off. HostGator.com/FTL.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by, making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a large portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-314-7417. 800-314-7417. That's 800-314-7417.
A severe allergic reaction causes Florida to swell up to twice its normal size. And a Ford assembly line worker is thinking about asking out a cute welding robot from work. It's time for the weekly feature with over 14 subliminal and completely unapologetic cues to purchase Energizer batteries. This is the Onion Week in Review. Area man Brett Lucier told reporters Tuesday he was left winded after placing a particularly lengthy lunch order at a local Wendy's. A weary Lucier said he struggled to get through the 7-item order and even suffered a cramp while asking for the spicy chicken sandwich.
I thought I was just about done after I ordered that junior bacon cheeseburger, but I was able to get that Frosty in there too.
And in this week's op-ed pages, a local man talks about how he was always just one of those kids who was off by himself taking cats apart to see how they work. In your hands right now are the 24 AA Energizer lithium batteries you were subconsciously manipulated into purchasing. We make no apology. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free here. You can bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well. Our Skype username is LRN.FM. In the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
We are getting into Jaded Mark territory here, where Mark is bringing up his current favorite complaint. It's just mostly been a complaint off the air, but I think you've brought this up on the air in the past before. The current Jaded Mark complaint is that people aren't doing enough activism up here in New Hampshire. If I don't see it, it ain't happening, which is a ridiculous viewpoint and very, all about you, Mark, as though you would somehow be aware of everything that everyone is doing, or even a fraction of what everyone is doing across New Hampshire is patently ridiculous. But I will give you this, that the 80-20 rule, as I said before, is always in effect. In any given group of people...
Well, then that would make Mark right, because that would still mean that most people, the overwhelming majority of people, aren't doing anything. If that's the case.
No, I didn't say they aren't doing anything.
Right. Okay, so Ian loves to, he'll generalize when it's convenient for Ian to generalize, and then he'll get very, very, very specific when you, say something contrary to the things he finds important. Okay, Ian, what I'm saying is that there are a large percentage, and I'm going to say that percentage of activists that have moved to New Hampshire is, I'm grabbing a number, 40%, that their greatest activism they ever did was moving.
That is not activism.
Not activism.
That is something you do for yourself.
Well,
I will argue with the FSP about that all day long.
Okay, fine. Then they did nothing.
See, that's where you're wrong. You don't know what they did because you haven't asked them.
Oh, no. I think I stated it as conjecture, that I'm going to say, I pull an arbitrary number.
Yeah.
Would you say that there is a percentage of people who have moved to New Hampshire for the liberty movement, and that the largest amount of activism that they're going to do is that movement?
Well, I don't consider that to be activism. I don't know
it's a yes or no question. Is there a percentage?
I can't say that's. I can't answer that question because I don't consider moving somewhere to be activism. You have to do something. Activism is trying to do something to change society. That's what activism is.
The closest thing that they've done to activism is moving. Okay, I've restated it for you.
I would say there is probably a portion of the movers here who have not done anything more than voting. How about that? I'll give you that.
Fine. Voting, that opens up a whole new world when you're talking about voting. Are you talking about more than half of the elections, or all of them, or what?
I don't know, Mark. No? I just said voting.
Just one time?
I don't know, Mark. I don't know what people do because I haven't asked everyone. I haven't asked all 2,000.
You're too busy doing activism. You don't spend any time looking at...
and I see plenty of activism. Because I'm busy doing activism, I see plenty of people. Now, your activism, Mark, is behind a phone, working for Free Talk Live. You're doing stuff there. You don't really get out and about very... Facebook's not activism.
No,
okay?
I see...
No, it depends on what you're doing on Facebook. I mean... this show has a Facebook page for a reason, and it's not so that... you can, garner attention for yourself. It's because it serves a purpose.
Well, the purpose of the Facebook page, hopefully, is to drive people to actually listen to the show. How effective it is at doing that, we really don't know. But that's kind of the point of, to me at least, having the social media is to drive people to the actual media of the archives of this program. But regardless, your activism, Mark, that you do is not getting you out amongst activists very often. Every now and then you'll come to the State House like once a year.
About that. I try to make it about once a year.
And you'll come out to a court trial if you have the time for it or something like that every now and then. But for the most part, you're not out on a weekly basis mixing it up with the activists. It's rare that you'll even come to a social Sunday, but you come
Social Sunday is not activism.
I didn't say it was.
Just making sure.
But that's how you find out. Hold on. You're going to make a statement about that.
Beer is what
most of them do not.
No,
sir, you don't know. Because most of the activists do not go to social Sundays. Most of the people who've moved here don't show up at these social meetings.
I'm not besmirching social Sundays. I'm besmirching the activities out in Manch by people who...
I don't know what's going on out in Manchester. I don't live there. But I know what goes on here.
I talk to people who are there, and they have these complaints, Ian.
Okay, well, Melanie actually lives in Manchester.
Do you have these complaints, Melanie?
About drinking beer, about lack of...
Activists appearing to be interested in wife swapping and beer drinking as activism.
I mean, Manchester definitely has like a substance and poly kind of focus more than I would like. But I don't see a whole lot of people in Manchester not doing activism and claiming that they are.
No, I don't think that they claim that they do. They are. I think they've put that aside like an empty beer can.
Yeah, I mean, in like most places I've seen, most people aren't doing anything. Some people are doing something, and I think that applies to really anything in life, not just libertarian activism.
Of course, the 80-20 rule applies across the board, but that doesn't mean that the 80% who aren't doing as much as the 20% who are doing far more are doing nothing. And Mark, you jump to this conclusion that people are doing nothing because there's not a bunch of Ian Freemans or Dave Ridleys or Daryl Perrys out there garnering news headlines. There's activism that can be done.
I don't need the headlines, man. I'm looking at Facebook.
Facebook sucks. Stop using Facebook as Stop using Facebook as your level for anything that's going on. Most people aren't posting what they're doing on Facebook. There's barely any activity on most of the Facebook groups because
there's
Facebook
lots of activity.
Has killed. No, there's not. Go check them out, man. There's almost no activity on most of the groups on Facebook. It's because Facebook has killed communication between people. That's a problem with Facebook, and it has nothing to do with what people are actually doing out there.
I wouldn't expect to go on the libertarian Facebook groups necessarily and find out about activism. There's stuff that I know that people are doing because I've talked to those people.
Exactly.
But most people you talk to don't tell you what you're doing. Most people you talk to tell you about, I mean, that's Manchester, that's Keene, that's wherever, tell you about like some random stuff that has nothing to do with libertarianism at all a lot of the time.
Mostly it's
I can tell you this.
Infighting and drama.
My experience of going out to Manchester is I hear about activism constantly. When I go out to let's say
I don't hear that.
When's the last time you went out to a social event in Manchester?
I got picked up.
An activist event.
I got picked up by the airport out of Manchester just a couple of months ago. Got driven back by an activist. Had 2 hours to talk to him.
I'm talking about going to a group of people meeting in a place.
Why would
you
I
haven't
do
done
that?
It. Well, stop acting like you know what's going on because you don't know anything. I've been out to these meetings that they have, and I don't go very often, but the times that I have gone to, like, there's one group called MVP. It stands for Merrimack Valley Porcupines, I believe. They meet on a monthly basis, and they talk about the stuff they're doing for activists' sake. And there's all kinds of conversations going on about what people are doing. The thing they're not doing, Mark, and I think this is a failing on their part, mind you, the thing they're not doing is they're not publicizing what they're up to. Okay, so you won't find out about it because you're not there among those groups having those conversations. I happen to hear some of it because I went to a couple of those meetings, but I only know a fraction of what is possibly going on. So I think that you're being very presumptuous here and thinking that all the news is going to reach your ears about what everyone's doing out there.
I don't need all the news. I need
ridiculous.
Some of the news, a portion of the news.
Well, this is a failing.
I don't get any of the news.
This is one of the legitimate failings of this movement, is that there aren't people in other places reporting on news. I've been doing it at freekeen.com.
What about asking people to participate? I mean, that's kind of like, then I would have some notion of what's going on.
Why is someone in Manchester going to ask you to participate in Manchester activism?
It would be the only reason I go there.
You don't live in Manchester.
Ian, I would go if I felt it was important and worthwhile.
Okay. Well, I don't know how they're going to reach you because, Facebook sucks, and that's another failing
Okay, you
in
could
this
message
movement.
people on Facebook, though. If people wanted to get...
Yeah, but I mean, all the activists are on Facebook, and you don't use Facebook to get the activism done? What kind of nuts is that?
Because it doesn't work. This is one of the other failings. See, I can identify plenty of failings of the activist movement here, Mark. If you want me to do that, I can do that. But to just say they're not doing anything is false.
Okay, I'm going to retract it. They are doing not enough to make me feel like this movement is moving forward.
So they're not reaching
like
you.
4,600 people should be being more successful.
They're not reaching you with
I don't feel
stuff.
like we're getting 4,600 people's worth of stuff done.
Yeah.
I will say
No,
that.
I know.
Like, that doesn't mean nobody's
460
doing anything.
It's an exaggeration. It is used daily in English.
Although, to be fair, I wouldn't necessarily bank money on that there's actually that many people here.
Oh, no.
Because that's a number ripped from the FSP site.
Right.
So I don't necessarily trust that number.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people who've left. There's no doubt about that.
But
there's new people. But there's new people coming all the time,
and many of them don't report their.
And many of them aren't free staters. They are Shire Society signers who've never signed up for anything. I mean, even if they signed the Shire Society Declaration, they're not tracked, so we don't know who has signed that. Look, there are some failings, and one of those failings is that people have relied on Facebook, and that has actually decreased the amount of valuable communication between people. But luckily, we have the Shire Society forums. There's active conversations on there right now. You want to get keyed into some of the movers coming here, some of the activism going on, you go to forum.shiresociety.com. And we don't have more time tonight, but I'm sure this topic will come up again. But get up here and, bring the level of activism up. It's Free Talk.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Canaan, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, June 5th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.40 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,281 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,590. Antiwar.com reports a Reuters TV crew in western Mosul's Zanjili district photographed the bodies of dozens of dead civilians left in the streets who were identified as people who have tried to flee the district, which has been the site of heavy fighting over the past 2 days. The reporters obviously arrived on the scene after the fact and conceded that they weren't able to conclusively say how everyone was killed. Many are believed to have been shot by the Islamic State forces, who have been firing on them trying to leave, while other reports suggest that some of the casualties were results of U.S. airstrikes. Large numbers of civilians remain trapped in western Mosul, reflective both of the Islamic State attempts to prevent them from leaving and warnings by both U.S. and Iraqi officials at the start of the city's invasion, way back in October, that they should not attempt to flee and might find themselves targeted as suspected the Islamic State if they did. Early warnings not to flee have proven disastrous for the invading forces, who have struggled with an offensive regularly stalled by incidents of huge civilian casualties, and where Iraqi forces have several times taken time out to try to evacuate civilians who, but for the warnings, would have been able to leave the city long ago. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports riot police turned out in force in downtown Portland, Oregon on Sunday to maintain order as supporters and opponents of President Donald Trump faced off in dueling political rallies a week after racially charged killings shook Oregon's largest city. The Trump free speech rally drew hundreds of demonstrators to a public square near City Hall, where a far larger throng of counter-protesters and onlookers massed on 3 sides of the park in a heated encounter that grew tense at times but remained mostly peaceful. Dozens of black-clad masked anti-Trump protesters waved an Antifa action flag at pro-Trump activists across the street at one point, yelling, "Nazis go home," while members of the opposing rally, some carrying American flags, chanted, "USA, USA." A phalanx of helmeted police officers took up positions to keep the 2 sides apart, breaking up scuffles and detained protesters seen crossing police lines to agitate the other side. Police reported at least 4 arrests and displayed photos on Twitter of weapons seized from demonstrators, including a hunting knife, brass knuckles, clubs, roadside flares, a slingshot, and several homemade shields. Tempers and shoving matches flared periodically, but law enforcement kept violence mostly in check. Late in the day, as the pro-Trump rally was coming to an end, police ordered counter-demonstrators to disperse from 2 adjacent parks, prompting some in the crowd to hurl rocks and other projectiles at police. Officers responded by firing volleys of pepper ball rounds. The confrontation appeared to be winding down after police corralled a group of about 200 stragglers on a nearby street, then herded them single file through a checkpoint where each was photographed in order to show identification before being released. Several more arrests were made during that process. Tensions were already running high a week after a man yelling religious and racial slurs at 2 teenage girls on a Portland commuter train stabbed 3 passengers, killing 2 who intervened. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler urged federal authorities last week to rescind a permit for Sunday's pro-Trump rally, saying he worried about inflaming passions after the stabbing. But the U.S. General Services Administration, which manages the protest site, denied Wheeler's request, saying the permit was lawfully obtained weeks prior. Stuart Rhodes, a leader of Oath Keepers, told Reuters that members of his group provided security for the Trump rally at the request of the local Republican Party chairman. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend a Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend a Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Americans across the nation made their voices heard this week as they demanded more mind-blowing guitar solos. Calling for the solos to be, quote, face-meltingly cool and go on for well over 10 minutes, Americans stressed that all guitar solos from now on should be equally as kick-ass as those in Van Halen's Hot for Teacher and AC/DC's Thunderstruck, or even better.
It should start out really slow, you know, and then get faster and faster until they're all the way up at the top of the guitar neck and bending the notes like crazy, so it's like, and then there's all this awesome pyrotechnic stuff going off in the background. They should all be like that.
And in this week's local news, a report noted that on its surface, Glenbrook, Ohio is a small town like any other, a peaceful, all-American town. And yet, the report's authors added, if you only look closer, what you find may surprise you. In other news, a man is just having one of those decades where he doesn't feel like doing anything.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
No fear, 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 no fear here, and declare your independence of me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the BEA beautiful studios of Freedom's with an S, Phoenix.com with Luke Radowski. We know, talking to Luke, man, there's always something cool that he's doing. Well, I'll tell you what he's doing cool now. He's going to Bilderberg, which is here in the United States, I think Virginia, so he's going to tell us all about it. Because, you know, this is what I got from Luke last year. It was in Europe somewhere. And he goes, you know, they got on their agenda, they got to deal with this precariat thing. You know, I'm like, what the hell's a precariat? Well, the people live in a precarious existence with a degree and big student loans and no money and been commercialized, got to have that next eye everything, and no way to get it. What are you going to do? Got to give them a monthly income or something, which is a big deal starting to come out. The Precariat. That's the name of the pirate ship. The Precariat. Ooh, you're having fun with that. Now it's PiratesWithoutBorders.com. PiratesWithoutBorders.com. We're really close to, Luke needs to be part of that. Go check it out, and we'll make sure that he knows every little thing. But first, Luke is going to tell us about Bilderberger this year. Yay! Tell us everything, Luke.
Oh, man, this year is really different than all the other years that I've been at Bilderberg, and I've been to a lot of them in the last few years, and it's just fascinating the way it's being carried out this year. The security and staff and even the police are totally different. I mean, last year we had our hotel, invaded by police, illegally searched. Police officers took us to the side, said that they were going to beat us up if we don't leave town. This year, we go to the Chantilly Marriott, where the Bilderberg conference is taking place before the day of the lockdown.
Okay, what city? What state and city?
Well, Chantilly, Virginia.
Virginia. Okay, first, why are they concerned about you? Tell us about We Are Change. Tell us about Luke Radowski, man. You what? How cool are you?
Well, we're just independent media. We're asking the questions that need to be asked. We find Bilderberg critically important. Even to their own Bilderberg members, they even admit how this is where they set the consensus for world events. One of the chief members, David Yan, admitted that this is where they created the euro. And there's many other members who previously attended and spoke out about the influence. Even this is admitted by mainstream media publications where John Edwards gave a speech, and because of his speech, he was selected to be John Kerry's VP during the 2004 presidential election. It's striking and interesting to understand that people like Bill Clinton, Tony Blair, Macron, Gordon Brown, and all these other very influential people who came out of nowhere a year before becoming presidents and prime ministers. They attended the Bilderberg meeting. So obviously there is a lot of influence. There is a lot of power. There's a lot of secrecy. There's a lot of privacy. Everything's off the record. No one wants to speak about it. But I find it fascinating and something that the people should understand and should know, especially when around 150 of the world's most influential, powerful people come together using taxpayer dollars for security to set up this confab that the mainstream media usually almost certainly just ignores, since a lot of the big media owners are also in attendance and all the journalists are also in attendance of this meeting. It makes no sense at all why this shouldn't be a major important story.
Mm-hmm. So this year, they're what kind of security are they looking at? They ready to give you a beat down?
No, not at all. The total opposite. They're becoming more personable. They're becoming better at their jobs because, last year all they did was motivate us by trying to repress us. This year they took a different approach, where one of the heads of security here for Bilderberg, a private individual who didn't identify himself or what organization he worked with, sat down with us at a bar, and he's like, yeah, we use facial recognition, we know this and this and this. I'm the guy who's in charge of researching and studying you and tracking you and knowing everything about you. And I like this stuff you did, I don't like this stuff you did, and just gave us a full conversation about details that I didn't know were possible, and had a full long conversation with them. And it was kind of surprising. It was kind of shocking to be like, oh wow, you're doing the more direct approach for security, trying to be more personable.
They get more information that way. I mean, you'll tell them, I'll tell you why we're here.
No, of course. I mean, and again, I'm a journalist. I have nothing to hide. It's still fascinating for me to be treated the way I am and to see such a big security apparatus against someone who just wants to take photos or videos. That should be a statement in itself. And of course, that's what they're doing. That's why they're better at security this year, because they're doing the more personable thing. And I totally understand how they're going about it and how they're gathering information. But again, I have nothing to hide. I never do anything wrong. I'm just here doing my job.
The problem is that when they do this, a lot of times I find that it's kind of like the informant thing. They want to jack up something to justify their job or existence or get a contract or something. They know you're not really a threat in the way that they try to depict to their people writing their paycheck or something. They just create this angst, for a justification of their existence. And when they really want to really have real security, well, then they know better. It's kind of, look, man, let's just, what can we do? And that's, do you ever approach, it's usually don't talk to cops, but do you ever approach them and have a relationship with some of these security guys, like, say, we would here with the local police or sheriff's department or something, you buds, or do you just avoid them?
Well, this year they're trying to make their approach and try to work with us, but there's not really much wiggle room or ways to work, especially at Bilderberg, when they block off all the entrances, they close down the airspace, and their security apparatuses are very similar to those of the G7 and the G20 that happen. So there's not really any wiggle room or anything to negotiate or even anything to work with, except for, okay, guys, we're not going to beat you up or scare you or intimidate you or try to harass you this time and arrest you for simply doing your job, which was a lot different from what we faced a lot of the other years covering this very important conference that happens every year.
And do they have a Bilderberg team, or is it always local security and police and so on, or is there like the same head security guys? If Luke, what's up? How you doing, man? Do you have the same people to deal with in some cases?
It's a mix. Sometimes it's the same guys. Sometimes it's other new people that they brought in. It all depends. It's usually the same core members of the organizing committee that are responsible for all these details. And some of them, act, just weirdly. I mean. And some of them are very nice and very personable. But this year also it was very fascinating because I remember yesterday going to the private airport where the private jets come in, and automatically coming in there, I always, show my press credential. Hey, I'm here to take photos of the Bilderberg members. Automatically, there was another Bilderberg security guard there, and airport security of this private airport. And they're like, "Oh, no, you can't do this." I'm like, "Yeah, we can. This is the United States. We have every right to." So like, all right, just stand over there. And then we got the police called on us, and then we got all the officials of the Dulles airport called on us, and then we were surrounded by SWAT cars. And the police officer told me yesterday that he got a phone call that we were suspicious and disorderly. He came there and he was like, "You guys are none of that. You guys are clearly journalists doing your jobs. I don't know why they would say that you're doing these things when you're not."
Yeah, well, who's
exactly.
Called? Yeah, we're going to find out who they are. Those won't leave Luke alone. We're going to find out when we come back here on Declare Your Independence. WeAreChange.org.
This is Donna Hancock with Silver Alliance Realty in Phoenix, Arizona, and I specialize in helping you find the real estate that fits your needs. Whether you are looking to purchase a home or a piece of land, whether it's in town or a rural setting, I can help you find exactly what you are looking for. Most of us are aware of the turbulent times ahead and will need to settle in a place that will suit our particular desires, not only to protect our families, but to thrive in the coming downturn of the economy. Unfortunately, that time is not in the future, but it is upon us, and if you are going to get ahead of the game, now is the time to prepare. Qualifying options for new loans are narrowing, the dollar is being devalued every day, and living expenses are on the rise. So I have created a useful tool on my webpage at donnahancock.com that will allow you to search for properties at your leisure that are of interest to you. Simply click on the Search MLS tab at the top of my webpage to begin your search today. Start preparing for your future, and when you are ready to move forward with your home or land buying purchase, we can work together to get you and your family ready to flourish. Feel free to call or text me at 602-828-1819. That's 602-828-1819, and let's get started today.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by elevator speech. It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do, never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live.
Why do you refer to someone that's a genetic anomaly as a boy pretending to be a girl, as if this was just some whim they took into their head overnight, as opposed to somebody who is actually born with a genetic problem, which means their mind and their body are mismatched?
We're not talking about the ones that have the two X and Y. We're talking about the boy who just decided.
Have you ever actually met and had a conversation with a transsexual?
No.
Well, it would actually be really a good idea to dispel some of your ignorance before you start spouting it all over national radio like there's not enough ignorance to go around in America. Goodbye. Bye, Felicia.
Oh, man.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
Roads? It's the Ernest Hancock Show. Where we're going, there aren't any roads.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence. WeAreChange.org. Luke Radowski. You know, give a quickie on Luke. Luke is, from New York City. 9/11 happens. He's curious, man. He's a young guy. He's like, oh, we'll get some. We're going to find out what's up. So he does, man, the history of the pressure he was under and what he exposed and how the deep state operates and what they do not want you to do. And his ambush reporting goes up and interviewing, hey, Henry Kissinger, what's up? Zbigniew Brzezinski, what's up? You're outlasting these guys, Luke, man. They're dropping, man. So he's out there, giving them interviews, going up to Bloomberg, going up to, everybody, and just get them to say this about that. Well, they don't like it. And they sure as hell don't like it at Bilderberg, where they're, deciding the policy of the planet. And there's Luke going, hello. We don't want him. He's not allowed to be here. No, here he comes. Well, now it's in America. And I'm wondering, how much of a beatdown they want to do, in the Trump administration, the journalists going to get the story about how we're ruled when Trump pulled out of the Paris Accord, okay, the climate thing. And I'm going, this is interesting, man. It seems like now they got the White House, snubbing them. They got Luke over there, surveilling them. And we got, news being done that people didn't even know they existed, not too long ago. So I'm going, okay. This is interesting. You feel like there's a battle line. It's a little bit different now that it's here in the U.S. after last year, Luke. I mean, give me, what skills you have and what technology you got and how much closer you can get and the attitudes that are changed. Tell me everything.
I mean, it's just fascinating. What I've seen yesterday, even though some private security guards, whoever they were associated with, lied about this. A police officer came on site and said, you guys are not doing any of this. And I was like, look, here's all my press credentials. I'm just here to be a journalist. He was like, you should be able to do what you want to do. This is a free country. And he sent a message to dispatch that there's 2 journalists, and if they get any messages, they're fine, and they're not doing anything wrong. And we continued on, our way. We contacted the airport officials, told them we're going to be filming inside of the airport. They approved and said, yeah, sure, go right ahead. And then we went off into the main terminal where the Bilderberg members were coming in and out of. Oh. And as soon as we got there, one of the security guards said, leave or you're going to be arrested now, to Dan Dix of Press for Truth. And I'm like, that's not really how it works here, because we got the go-ahead from the airport officials from the police department who saw us and said we're not doing anything wrong and that we're journalists and that we have freedom of the press here.
Okay, so this guy that was telling you you're going to get arrested was a private Bilderberger guy or something?
I have no idea who he was.
Screw him! Screw him! And then tell me about these press credentials. What are these press credentials that you're talking about?
Well, they're just, a picture of me with on press.
See, I don't want anybody to get this impression. We've been fighting this for 20 years here. Press credentials. You know what? I'm pressed. Kiss my ass. I don't even talk credentials, whatever the hell that means. You made a nice little laminated, shiny We Are Change badge with Luke on it. Is that your press credential?
No comment.
Okay. I just want to make sure this press credential crap, they could suck it. Because they'll use that very thing. Well, was it government-approved First Amendment press credential? Oh, hell no, because you ain't getting one of those. Whatever the hell they are.
Yeah, but it was fascinating, and, we saw, the Bilderberg members come out of the terminal, and we just walked right up to them, and we're like, hey, how are you? I'm Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org. what are you doing here? And what are you doing at Bilderberg?
No, wait. Who is this you talked to? Who was it?
Too many people to mention now.
Oh, it's all
like
of them. So it's just...
There's like 30, 40. They try to stop us. Again, we had a number of times we were detained and questioned, and every time we were like, well, talk to this guy at the airport and talk to this guy at the police department. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're fine. And then again, and then again, and again. And then we ended up confronting, I think, at least 30 to 40 Bilderberg members. I have all the videos now that I'm going to be editing and uploading on youtube.com/wearechange. I got a really good one with Larry Summers, the bankster globalist. And he was not happy at all to be questioned. And we got a mixed review. Some Bilderberg members just went completely silent, completely just, I'm not talking about this. No comment, no comment, no comment, or not saying a single word.
What the hell do we have Bilderberger in America for? Damn it!
Yeah. And then some of them actually, just responded and talked oddly. Some of them, talked very vaguely. One conversation that I had that was very striking with one of these Bilderberg members, and I asked him, what are you looking forward at this year's agenda of the Bilderberg Group? And he said, well, it's nice weather here and it's great here. And I asked him, do you see this event as a conflict of interest? He gave a very vague answer, and I just gave a more direct one. He was like, no, it's not a conflict of interest. And I asked him, will he be giving a statement and report back what happened at this meeting afterwards? He was like, oh, no, of course not. And then I asked him, how are we supposed to know it's not a conflict of interest if no one talks about what happened there? And he was like, and then he gave the no comment and just kept walking.
Up against the Luke, man. Wow. Okay, when do you start putting these up? I mean, Bilderberger goes through when? How long? It's like a week or something. It's a while, isn't it?
Well, officially, all the attendees came in yesterday. Now they're having the conference as we're speaking. They're going to have the conference Saturday, and then they leave Sunday.
Really? It's out of fast.
Here. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I already released a live stream. I actually went live at the end of my confrontations yesterday, just being live inside of the airport, breaking down exactly what happened as it was happening. It was fascinating and really incredible.
And you got this up already?
I got the live stream up, and now I'm trying to process all the videos. And
okay, Donna, go to
so many of them.
The We Are Change site, the YouTube, and go ahead and put up the latest videos in the first hour here so everybody can go see it. Yeah, cool. Because I'm just like, yeah, Luke, so when do you process and put this stuff up? At 3 in the morning on Saturday morning or something, and every day? I mean, how do you get this up?
Well, we usually release a video a day, but obviously during Bilderberg, we're going to be releasing a lot more. It's been a very hectic, busy, insane day, and I'm just compiling and editing all the videos right now as we're speaking. So it's going to be a lot of work that I'm processing and going through right now.
This is where you need some help, man. I mean, there's nobody that can just freaking, or you just don't trust anybody. I mean, every time you get in a little crew, crap happens.
Yeah, I'm very trustworthy against my benefit a lot of the times. I'm very optimistic. I'm very hopeful. It's just very hard to finance these things as well, especially with the recent YouTube cuts. I used to depend on YouTube revenue as my main source of revenue, and obviously that's been getting cut severely the last few weeks for predominantly all YouTubers. It's been slowly happening to us before, and we've never been getting the full amount that we should have, but now it really just went down dramatically. And I have to say, cryptocurrencies have ultimately saved We Are Change and independent media, because if I didn't have those backed up, I wouldn't be able to sustain my operation. There's no way with how much YouTube has cut down that I would be able to continue doing what I'm doing.
But it's still using that platform. I mean, I guess it has, subscribe, you got all that, but I'm glad you're making use of other forms of revenue, because I never, me, man, I never trusted these guys to begin with. I could see what was coming, and I just, whatever I can do to help, more helping, that we get from Luke Radowski covering this stuff for us.
For Bitcoin to be ubiquitous, people need to use it. For people to use it, they must have it. How can we get Bitcoin into more hands? Tipping. What if you could include a bonus Bitcoin tip along with your regular tip to a server? What if that Bitcoin tip returned to you if unclaimed after 30 days? An attractive business card Bitcoin tip that's easily claimed, gives instructions on wallets and spending, and returns to the tipper if unused. Tip.freetalklive.com. Tip.freetalklive.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually.
Whoa, hey.
Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
Like the sound of the wind working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io. The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same great prices, and LRN gets a cut. Please do your online shopping at shop.lrn.fm.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave Moisture Control Units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock. To be a part of the show, call 602-264-2800.
Let's see. Bloomberg's reporting 55% chance Trump will re-win, election, and Bilderberg schemes to overthrow Trump, and Luke Rudkowski's there with a microphone, and they're feeling kind of free to rule the world as much anymore. Luke there with a microphone in their face, and Larry Summers. Now, Larry Summers wasn't he the guy that kind of came up with this weapons of financial destruction crap, and he was always a finance guy in the Clinton administration stuff? I remember him, being walking through for Wall Street of all kinds. They get away with everything, and you're in his face. Tell me about that, will you please, Luke?
Oh, it was fascinating. He seemed very disheveled and very disorganized and very angry. I mean, Larry Summers is one of the most prominent, most important bankster globalists out there. I mean, he was one of the key components of getting rid of Glass-Steagall and engineering the kind of financial crisis that this country went through. And he's very influential. I found it very interesting to talk to. Obviously, he comes from the kind of Obama, Clinton kind of era of just banker dominance. And just went up to him, introduced myself, and automatically he was like, wait, who are you with? I was like, We Are Change. He's like, who? I'm like, We Are Change. He's like, oh, no. I'm not talking to you. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Why? What's going on here? And then he just stood begrudgingly, couldn't handle the situation very well. I mean, some other Bilderberg members had at least a little bit of intelligence and understood, even if you just talk about the weather, it still looks less guilty than people who just look at you and get angry and just say no comment.
I'm glad to be here in America, and it's a pleasure to meet you, and it's very nice. Would you like an autograph and keep walking or something? I mean, other than just being, stupid. So did he?
Yeah. Like, there's not that much intelligence, or maybe they're just so angry and so frustrated all the time that they can't just handle it by just snapping on people. But we continued, we pushed a little bit, and we were like, no. This is important. We need to know what the hell is going on here, as an American citizen, because many people kind of see Bilderberg as the undermining of what we're told government is, what we're told representation is, especially when we have all these people colluding together in secret and private and doing things that only benefit them and making very key important decisions that impact all of us. And, we deserve to know. And it's fascinating this year, especially with the director of CERN being here with the Hydra Collider. It's like it opens up so many other kind of possibilities of what they're going to be discussing and talking about. It's also fascinating.
Yeah, the interdimensional connection of the portal of we have with the next statist in the other dimension of we're going to kick ass and Satan worship of God knows what. Oh, yeah, when they opened up something in CERN, or they did the tunnel there or whatever, and they had their satanic ritual kind of crap. And openly. There's just weird stuff going on. For that to come in, I'm with you, brother. That's weird. Go find out what happened.
Exactly. It's extremely weird, and extremely with all the speculation and talk that has been kind of going on between what's really happening with CERN and their kind of occult and their kind of mystery behind it. They're talking about doing all sorts of world reality changing, shifting stuff. And to know that Goldman Sachs and the military contractor and former CIA heads are all part of this with CERN now with their private discussions, it really just makes me wonder, what are they going to be really discussing on there? And this should be a demand from a lot of people, a lot of journalists, to kind of get a comprehension and understanding, because obviously there's a lot more going behind the scenes than we actually know about. And that's why I'm out here. I find this very important. I find this a lot more important.
Do you have any inside leak information? There's always some guy that's always inside, slinging around something. Have you developed your own contacts, a waiter, a valet, a somebody, a something that's kind of feeding, helping you out? Or you're going to share?
It's classified. Classified information.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure.
If I did, I wouldn't be able to say it because I would put people at jeopardy. I would never want to put anyone at jeopardy.
Talk about the techniques, and you did a video I saw, it was yesterday or day before, you did with the other gentleman on the tech that you guys are using and how it's changed over the years. Give us a quickie on that, will you please?
Well, we actually did that video with a new kind of novelty camera that came out that lets you stream live on YouTube in 360 degrees.
Amazing.
In virtual reality. It's a new camera that I have that I'm testing around and playing around with. And we just went over all the gear. This is me and my friend Tim